Hello, everyone. We're live. I have a guest, and this is Platinum Chelsea. And you can say hi,
Hey.
Chelsea, and then I'll talk a
Hi,
little bit about you.
everybody.
So I'm
Oh,
gonna
talk a little bit about me, or you are?
yeah, I'm just gonna do like a quick
Okay,
introduction,
perfect.
and
All
then I'm
right,
gonna
yeah.
let you talk. So this
Sounds
is
good.
Platinum Chelsea's YouTube channel. So please go check it out. She makes content. Look at this, Finmore on Transact Card, and we connected because of CC Suarez, if you can believe it. So I didn't know about Platinum Chelsea, and then when CC Suarez uh, like made a video, and then she mentioned me, and then also Platinum Chelsea about creators making Transact Card Finmore content, that I'm like, I gotta follow this creator. And so we found out after we connected, we found out that we were both in Manet, and we were both in fucking rank makers, if you can believe it. So Platinum Chelsea is here. And Chelsea, how did you get into Manet? And like, let's just talk. You go.
Gosh, no, it's so funny. I feel like there's so many. So I do have like my channel where I tell my whole story and stuff. And then I was listening back at it and then also comparing it to like the first time I started posting about Manet and getting people to join. And it's like kind of embarrassing because I feel like I was embarrassed as I was making those videos, but I still wanted to tell my story. Because in those videos, I'm like, yeah, I first joined it. So I did join it for this reason, but I started recruiting much earlier than I admitted in that video. So um, I am a hairstylist, and the two people in my upline that recruited me were also hairstylists. One had like 15 years of experience, the other one had been in it for 10 years. I was going off on my own, leaving a local salon to do my own salon studio. This was at the end of 2019, and I totally remodeled the studio. I gutted it. I bought everything. I put it so it cost me a lot of money. And then I got to the point where I'm like, well, what retail am I going to use? And I didn't have another like 5 grand to lay out on retail, because depending on which like retail line you do, they make you buy like one of everything. So depending on the line, it'll cost you anywhere between like $2,000 and $5,000. At that point, I was capped out. I was like, I need to just start doing hair in the studio. I was also only doing hair for like a year and a half, maybe. So I didn't really have a huge clientele. So I panicked about money. So, but I was like, I need something. And then I knew my upline through the San Diego Jeep Club, because I used to have a Jeep. I no longer do. And like that was like a huge group of just a ton of people. And one of like the officers or whatever, it was his girlfriend that was the hairstylist that I knew. And she was talking about Manet all the time and how good her hair looked. And I was like, well, she does have great hair and she's a stylist. So I guess it can't be that bad. After I had spent an entire lifetime talking shit about MLMs and how you don't own your own business and all this other bullshit, I ended up in one. What's even funnier though is before that, I was like, I think a side hustle would be good. And people had almost got me into Amway, but I saw that was a huge red flag during my almost recruited into Amway situation. And then I had been recruited or tried to be recruited into Beachbody by many other Jeep girls on Instagram. Because like if you were a Jeep girl on Instagram and you had your Jeep page, there's all your pictures of your Jeeps, and like they would message me. And this happened through multiple girls. They messaged me and they were like, oh yeah, we're a group of Jeep girls and we do a bunch of stuff, blah, blah, blah. And then it just like turned into a Beachbody pitch every single time. And so one girl I actually did connect with and wanted to be friends with. And by the time I was ready to like take the leap and actually like join an MLM, because I'd finally decided it was no longer a scam. I don't know what the hell happened there. But um I was talking to her and I think she stopped selling Beachbody and went to a different one. So she didn't really like encourage me to join her. So that was when I reached out to my upline and was like, well, I need some shampoo to sell to my customers. This gives me a link without spending 5 grand. And so let's just do it. So I did it. I was like, there's no way it can be that bad. She's a hairstylist. Her upline's a hairstylist. Like it just seemed like the right fit at the time. So that's essentially how I started. That's how I got there.
That's interesting because there was that vulnerability, like you didn't have
Mm-hmm.
the money, and then there's it. You need to stock, and you don't have the cash to do it, and you also have your uplines that are also hairstylists.
Yeah.
So, like endorsing this thing. So when did you start? Like when you first signed up, what product pack did you sign up with, and what was your first experience with Monat? Like, what was your first shampoo and condition like?
I was lucky. I only bought the smaller one. What's
So
even funnier is I did have an experience with Manet when I was in hair school. So at the beginning of my cosmetology journey, my coworkers were trying to get me to use it and sign up under them. And I said no. I wasn't ready to do it until because and my excuse was conflict of interest. So I did try the shampoo, but one wash for me isn't an end all. I never figured out why people are like, yeah, I did one wash and my hair was amazing and now I love it. I'm like, that's literally I can't like I even when I change shampoos now, I give it like a few tries before I say no, this sucks or no, this doesn't suck. Like with anything as far as like hair products go. But oh my god, what was the question? See, I am gonna
oh no,
get
that's
sidetracked
okay.
this
That's
entire
okay.
time.
This is good.
That
This
was
is
my
what
first, yeah, my first experience was actually before I joined Money. But then yeah, I bought the smaller product and I actually didn't push it or say I was selling it for the first 30 days. I used it.
oh, you
So
had integrity.
yeah,
I
I
didn't.
waited. But the thing is after that 30 days, I joined Rake Makers. And then it was like I was off the rails after that.
Okay. Okay. So before we go into that, because this is really wild to me that you joined Rank Makers after like 30 days. So, okay, before we get into that, there's two. So hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for the comments. And Rescue Ninja says, basically people who were in your profession gave it legitimacy at a time when you were vulnerable. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Belle has, did
Thank you
either of
guys for
you,
saying that, but
yeah, did either
because
of
I
you
just feel like an
experience,
idiot.
yeah, I know, right? Did either of you experience hair loss? You want to go
I did
first?
not actually.
Mhm.
I for me the shampoo is just an expensive shampoo. My best friend actually used it. She really liked it, and she even literally the other day she's like, "I know you hate Monat," but she's like, "But my hair felt so good when I was using it." And then I said, "I know I hate Monat, but it's the only blow dry cream that I or blowout cream that I ever liked."
You know,
And
I
I
still,
can honestly say that, and I will not buy it. I will not use it.
yeah.
I have something else that I use, but their blowout cream for me, I really enjoyed it. Their shampoo to me though was just meh, it was whatever. I didn't experience a lot of hair loss. I have worn extensions and bleached my hair for as long as I can remember. My hair is always breaking. I'm always messing it up, especially if I'm doing my own hair. I'm overlapping in the back. So for me, like when my hair was breaking, like I can't fully blame it on any of the products I'm using. I obviously you can make it worse if you're using like shitty products or falling asleep with your hair wet. I could go into the whole like spiel of hairstylists and stuff and how you should actually take care of your hair, but during COVID I wasn't doing any of those things because I wasn't leaving my house. So I would just throw in hair extensions and call it a day. So I really can't say I didn't have like hair loss or bald spots or anything. That was more attributed to bad installation of hair extensions that I did on myself. But I mean, it wasn't amazing. But I did like the blowout cream. I'm guilty of
I,
liking one product.
yeah, I'm similar. Like I have fond memories. I have fond memories of a lot of products, but I will never buy them. So it's
Yeah.
still, but I was one of the people that had a really good experience the very first time I shampooed my hair, and it was with the Intense Repair shampoo and the Intense
Okay.
Repair conditioner. And I had gone swimming. This was like part of my lore. Like I would make videos about this. I'd be on my business page. It's like the first time I tried this shampoo, you know, but it was true. I had gone swimming and then I tried the shampoo and I noticed when my hair was air drying, like it was moving, like it was moving as I moved. It wouldn't just
Okay.
like lay flat and heavy. So I was like,
Okay.
wow. And my hair started to look really good and I got a lot of compliments on it.
I do
So,
have a
but I,
question.
sure.
Coming from a hairstylist, what shampoo were you using before? What
It
was
was
your
like
hair care
something,
routine before?
it was like I didn't have one. It was like,
Exactly.
that's exactly it. Right. Yeah. And it was like something like Tresemme or just something that I just picked up,
Yeah.
you know, like
Yeah.
whatever. But for hair loss, I don't know if I was losing hair, but I know looking back at my old videos that I did, my hair was really good for a time. But even the last 2 years I was in Monet, my hair was not looking good. Like it was like,
Yeah.
it looked scraggly and I was using all of the products. I kept like rotating different shampoos and I'd have to do 3 washes because it wasn't seeming to get squeaky clean anymore. And it was so, yeah. And I wanted just to read this too. Rescue Ninja says, "You are not an idiot."
Thank you.
All right. Okay. So back to this. I want to hear the. Okay. So now you had signed up in 2019 with Manet. So we're like that. That's right. Right. 2019.
Yes, yes.
Okay. And you've signed up with the smallest product pack, and you're going to give the products a chance. So you're going to try it out for 30 days. Now, how in the world did you even hear about rank makers? Because you have your uplines, like these other respected hairstylists. Like clearly, you respect them. They're giving you like, it's like, okay, well, this is legitimate. So how did you even hear about rank makers, and why did you decide to join?
Okay, so as I was becoming a hairstylist and going off on my own, I was doing my own like business coaching through a hairstylist business coach. So because I had searched for that, I think just business coaching itself was in my algorithm. So a Facebook ad popped up because the Be Anywhere Boss Beach Babe Boss Babes whatever, that also their ads also showed up in my newsfeed. And that was how I ended up hearing about both of those or any sort of network marketing. And what's even funny now, because I have been like stalking rank makers and stuff like that, can't wait for that to be ruined. But I keep getting like more MLM coaching, and we can automate your network marketing business. I keep getting those ads on my Instagram now. So
Oh,
there's other companies that are still out there, still popping up and pushing that same rhetoric and being like, oh, we'll do it for you. Because I remember the tail end of me being in Manet, there was a lot of those automated systems that were supposed to help you without you doing anything or like bring you warm leads, essentially.
yeah. So now you get an ad on Facebook. Do you remember the ad for rank makers, and what was it about the ad that prompted you to join? Like, do you remember anything about that, or?
I have no idea. I don't remember. I just know I had to have seen the ad on Facebook or Instagram somewhere on there.
Okay.
And it was probably I I don't know. It was probably something about become the top network marketer in your company or some shit like that. I don't know.
Okay.
Hooked me with something though.
Yeah. And so then I want to hear about your experience now. So this is like after 30 days, you're just starting to then you decide to sell Monet. Is that what you start doing? And then it's like around
I'm
that
gonna
same
cut you
time.
off for like 2 seconds. My
Sure.
AirPods are being really weird. Just let me switch to my
Of
regular
course.
headphones and
I'll
see
read,
if that's better.
yeah, of course. I'll read some comments here.
Yeah,
Glenn,
sometimes it
hello,
goes away.
Glenn. Glenn is MLM is fraud. I'm so excited. Sean Munger has made another video on MLM. Me too. It's on Costco Interplanetary, and I was just watching it before this, Glenn. So thank you for that. So anybody, if you want to see Sean Munger, he's made a video on the Amway tool scam too, which is so good. Tools called John Q says hello, Julie. Hello, Miss Chelsea. Sam says you're not an idiot. Anyone who has been in an
That's
MLM,
so weird.
and Glenn is urging everyone to click on the MLM ads. They are being charged per click. The more we click on these ads, the more these fake gurus and MLM companies are charged. That's right. Hit him with a death by a
That was really
thousand
weird. Can
cut.
you hear me now? Are we
I
back?
can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I literally plugged in my other headphones and now my AirPods are working fine. So we're just gonna problem solved. I'm just not gonna touch anything else. We're good.
Awesome. Okay, we got another X rank maker here too.
Nice.
Right on. All right, so 30 days. You're like, I'm going to give this a go for 30 days. And so can you tell me then, what did you decide then? Like, did you do a launch party? Did you start to post on Facebook? How did you decide to start? And what did it look like when you first started to sell the products?
You know what I think it was? Like for me, it was like I was selling the products to my clients. And then when I was like, you know what, maybe I will build a team, I had gone back to my like mindset before of I don't want to be that girl. I don't want to bother my friends and family. I don't want to be that annoying person. And they give you when you get that first like the little like booklet thing or whatever with Monate, it says to make your list. And I made my list, but I was like, I don't really want to reach out to these people like just to join a business. I'm like, because for me, like I would sell them the shampoo and be like, hey, I'm a stylist. This is support me this way. But I didn't want to have them join my team. So I think when I joined Rank Makers and decided to go that direction, I liked it because it taught me how to like cold prospect, and prospecting strangers to me was not scary because they didn't know me and it didn't matter. So like that I think was the pull that Rank Makers had on me, that it was like, okay, cool, now I have a script, and it was just copy paste, now I know what I'm doing, and that was it. Because I did have my upline was having me do stuff, but the things my upline tried to get me to do many times to me was just so cringe. Aw, kitty, who's that?
This is Deanna. She's just decided to jump on my lap. She really likes
I
to be
love
on
it.
camera too. It's so nice. So your upline was trying to get you to do things. What were they trying to get you to do that you didn't want to do?
Just like they wanted me to post things like, "Is anybody willing to help me and just buy some shampoo?" Or like
Oh,
make it like a "I need you to support me," like, sort of
yes.
rhetoric rather than "This stuff's great and you need it."
Yeah.
And that made me uncomfortable, and that got pushed more and more towards the end, and, like, that type of stuff I didn't wanna do because it made me feel icky. The things that I would do that didn't bother me as much were similar to the rank maker shit where they were like, "Oh, here's a caption," and I'd be like, "Okay, whatever, I'll use that caption, I'll throw it under a picture. That's fine." Like, because for some like, it was less work for me. I was lazy. Point blank period, because for me, I was putting so much work into building my clientele as a hairstylist that Manet couldn't be my number 1, but I didn't mind doing it because I needed to make the money when I was slow. As I was building my clientele, I had that extra time. So it was like I was going back and forth between the 2, like, and kind of trying to literally treat it like a second job.
Yeah. It's basically takes over. You have no spare time because you're
Yeah,
working your actual profession, and then now you're also working on this side hustle, this Mon8 thing,
right,
which is like, interminable. You could be working on this
right.
forever. So when you were in Rank Makers, then you saw the scripts and you started, did you use that? Did you start cold prospecting like right away, like sending out messages on Facebook and Instagram and that kind
I
of thing?
waited. I think the first thing that I did with Rank Makers was the 14-day challenge.
No fucking way. Are you
Yeah,
serious?
yeah,
Did you see me in there?
I did, and that was what I
Are
was gonna
you
tell you earlier.
serious?
Oh, fuck yeah.
No
Oh, I saw
way!
your dance. Girl,
You
girl, I was
fucking
licking your shit, and I was commenting on your videos, and when I was listening to Roberta's interview with you, and you were like, "Yeah, and I met Ray, and he was like, 'Do the dance,' I was like, 'She's the girl with the dance!'" Like knew. I knew
oh,
exactly who you were, and it just put everything together, and I was like, we were in Rank Makers at the same time.
shit. That is wild. So you
I
get in
know.
right away, so into the 14-day challenge. So this is interesting because it's like now I know this time frame because is this early 2019 or late
It was
2019?
late
So
2019. It
this
was,
is
like,
right to when
November or
okay, so
something.
this
It
is
was
right when
October or November,
oh, this is
and I
fascinating.
was there with the ding dong things when he would say, "Whoever's over there on ding dong." Oh, yeah. No, I was there for all of those videos that he did live. I heard that. So I'm hearing you tell Roberta this, and I was like, "This was my time." Like, that was when I was in there.
Wow. Okay. So what Platinum Chelsea is referring to is if you've come across my content before or heard any more about my story when I was leaving Rank Makers, had just got on TikTok in late 2019. And this was then Ray was making fun of it because I was in 100K Inner Circle coaching and I was trying to like tell other people this is an incredible platform to be on. And there was other people that were on it too, but I had a high visibility in this group because of of a lot of things. But anyway, it's really cool just to have that you saw it. I don't know. It's like I know there's been enough time that's passed where I don't. It's still good to feel that validation where it's like this actually did happen. Like, but it still feels really good that you're saying it. So that's what she's referring to. He would talk about TikTok as ding dong, making live videos, these passive aggressive things. Like anybody that's on it, it's really stupid. It's going to die. It's just like Vine. Just listen to me, and I'm going to help you explode your network marketing business and do these enroll in my 14-day challenge, which is what that. So you get in right away, like you get into the nest of everything. So you're
Oh,
getting the
yeah.
scripts
I
and
jumped
the
on in.
so the 14-day challenge, if anybody has seen any of my videos where I've talked about this, I participated in every one of these things. I participated in 8 of them over the years I was in. And what Ray would do and his team would create an additional Facebook group that would be called 14-Day Challenge, like November edition or whatever. But by this time, I think maybe all of the videos that he would do, he would go live originally every day in this 14-day challenge group after he would go live in Rank Makers with this training. But I think at that time, maybe these videos he had, they were already pre-recorded because he like just cheaped out at that point. But anyway, you'd go into this group and every day there would be a training and he would teach you like what to do for this, to make a live video on Facebook to sell your network marketing business, because this is going to create so many leads. And there's a format to this. And it always ended up like you're not doing enough and he knows everything. And you got to have the intro, question, content, call to action, and the CTA delay and all that stuff. So I'm just giving a recap for people who maybe are just coming across this, because I know that happens sometimes. They're coming across for the first time. They're like, what is going on? So right. I want to hear now about your experience now. So you get in, you've used the shampoo for 30 days. You're starting to sell it, but you're also building your clientele. And now you're also in another MLM adjacent coaching cult, unbeknownst to you. And you get into yet another group. So you're in Rank Makers with all that training. And now you're also in 14-day challenge. So I want to hear about this.
Oh, God. I remember doing that stupid 14-day challenge and him and this getting the assignments every day and trying to like think of something like to do your video on. I could not, I don't even know what to say about it other than just like, I can't believe I did that. And it did take up so much time. And I remember waking up in the morning and like being excited to see Ray's lives and his trainings. And like, I'm like, okay, good. This is going to be great. I'm going to be like all motivated, whatever. And I'm like all excited about it. And then the 14-day challenge, it was like, I remember just being really burnt out by the end of it though. Like that was my biggest thing. At the beginning, I did a couple of the Celebration Friday dances I would drop in the group. Then I did the 14-day challenge. And then it was not too long after that was when I had probably quit by January, or it was December or January when I had resigned from Rank Makers. And I told them that I just didn't have enough time, which I think was just me trying to let them down softly. Because I just remember a lot of like the trainings from Ray, whether it was in the 14-day group or it was in the regular group, when he was like yelling like that, like tough love, like yelling, like cult leader stuff. And it just like reminded me of like childhood trauma getting yelled at by a man, whether it's your uncle or my friend's scary dad, like he used to like scare the shit out of me. Like I was so afraid of one of my girlfriend's dads, like as a kid, and it reminded me of him. And like it started bringing up that trauma. And I think it just like, that was why I didn't stay in Rank Makers for super long, because I didn't like that about him. But it was every time he would do one of those videos, it would circle back around to the Wealth Wednesday thing. And I would have fun with that. Like the Wealth Wednesday, I think, is what kept me in pretty long, because it made me feel good about myself that I was doing something. And then the 14-day challenge, I think I just really liked that because it made me more comfortable behind a camera, like on social media, because at that point I knew people that were going live all the time, and I was like, oh, what the fuck are you gonna go live about now? Like I couldn't, like I just knew so many people that would go live all the time. And then I started going live, like doing that every day, and it just got me really comfortable with it. So as far as like, I don't know that I have anything negative to say about the 14-day challenge in that aspect, because I feel like it kind of made me better at this, because I was starting a YouTube channel, because shortly after that I started a YouTube channel for hair education. And so I just felt really comfortable in front of a camera because of doing all those lives. So, but I think, yeah, there's some about my story. I don't know. I feel like, again, I'm going to be like totally all over the place, but
no, this is great. This is really great, because this is a conversation. I'm so happy and grateful that you're being like so open about this. And because I haven't talked with anybody really about this. This is still quite new of people like coming forward. 2 years ago, people were terrified to say Ray's name. So just to be able to speak like this, it's so important for others to see.
Yeah.
I am going to read more comments after, but I want to I wrote a couple of notes down just of things that you had said, because I want to explain to people. But so first off, that you mentioned the Celebration Friday videos. So if you're new here, what we would do in Rank Makers is every Friday like Ray would we'd call these live videos Ray Dailies. And then it became like
That's
other
what they were
coaches,
called.
Ray Dailies. Yeah, fucking Ray Daily. It was even a hashtag, if you can believe it. And if you were talented or brave, your action step for the day, because every video that he would make every day would have a training and then there would be an action step. And this would be like why he's like so distinctive from every multi-level marketing training out there, because I don't just give you a training, I give you an action step. I'm like turning into this like, so the action step on Celebration Friday was to upload a video of yourself dancing in the group, which is creepy as fuck when you think about it. Thousands of people in this group, hundreds of them of which are uploading a video of you dancing. It gets weird, you know, but at the time, I mean, I really liked it. I'm like, this is so fantastic. And it was kind
The one video that I did, I was dancing with my cat.
Oh yeah.
So I'm still not mad about that.
Good for you. And there is something to be said for like pushing outside of your comfort zone. So this is one of those things that with the 14-day challenge, without the abuse and the yelling and the shaming and the belittling and the demeaning and the coercion, aside from all that, when you get outside of your comfort zone and you kind of are with other people and you're forced to do this live video every day, it can work for some people, but just like without all the other extraneous abuse associated with it. But yeah. And then I wanted to say about when you mentioned Wealth Wednesday, because this is something that, and also before I forget, when you had said that to let them down easily, because I wanted to just really highlight that, because that is not normal when you leave a normal group, but a high control group, this is that weird worry. But when you mentioned Wealth Wednesday, so every day of the week in Rank Makers when we were in was ritualized, which meant there was you knew what Sunday was going to be about. There might be a different training topic, but it was always like a certain thing. So like Monday would be like set your intentions and goals, because Grant Cardone's, his whole sales team writes down their goals every week. And there's these percentages of people that will succeed if they write their goals down. Tuesday, Wednesday was called Wealth Wednesday. So what you were supposed to do is to improve your money mindset, to manifest wealth and abundance. You have to go out and give money to a stranger without the expectation of receiving anything in return. And you could post about it in the group if you wanted, or you could post about it on social media and hashtag Wealth Wednesday, or you don't have to. But a lot of us would, and we'd feel so good about it. So I used to go out and buy Tim Hortons gift cards and like just give it to a random stranger, and then I'd run out, and I felt so good. I loved doing that. And
I would put like $5 and $10 bills inside diaper boxes at the grocery store, or I would put like a $5 bill like underneath somebody's like windshield wipers, so like they'll think it's a ticket, but it's money. Like that was the stuff that I did.
That's so cool. So he used that example all the time of people that would put $5 or $10 in the diaper boxes. And there was an article once, and I think it was in Australia, and somebody had found money inside a diaper box, and he was like making it like took credit for that as if it was, his global reach of this movement of Wealth Wednesday. I'm like, who knows if it was, but I'm like, typical cult is like take advantage of that. But that's cool, because he'd always say that.
We did that. I did that.
Yeah. And so then that's Wealth Wednesday. If you're watching this, you're like, oh, this is just wild. And then when you said let them down, isn't that the weirdest thing? Because if you're just in a regular group or like going to a class or taking an online course, if you don't show up, it's not a big deal. But already you were only in for such a short period of time, and you had felt like you had to let them down easily. The control in that is just
it was the same thing with leaving Manet, where I didn't tell them I was leaving. I would post everyone. I just started posting less and less and less, and then I just eventually I bounced, I dipped. So not my upline, but like her upline had no idea that I stopped selling it. She had no idea that I canceled my account, had no freaking clue. I put the words pyramid scheme dropout on my Instagram profile. She saw it, sent a screenshot, sent it to me, and said, I'm appalled that you would feel this way. Or mortified. I don't know. I think it was the word mortified is what she used, but yeah. And I was like, see how much you paid attention to me, but you didn't even you didn't even know that I left. Like the last 3 months, I was just getting residual incomes from people like reordering, but I
Mhm.
wasn't making new sales. I wasn't recruiting new people. I did have new people under me because my upline was stacking. So she could
No.
maintain her rank.
Oh no. This is so bad on
And
so
that
many
happened a
levels.
lot.
Oh, I remember my friend who was my good friend for like 15 years, but then Manet came between us because I left, and then suddenly I was a part of the anti-MLM cult because I thought, are you kidding me? This is really happening right now, and I hope to God she gets out one day. But she put somebody underneath one of my market partners. And I remember thinking at the time, I'm like, I was so mad. And I talked to my market partner, and we both felt so betrayed. And I was like, that's like cutting a course on a race. It's like you just don't rank up then, or you just don't get paid. You don't cheat. You don't place an
Right.
order over someone else or place someone over someone else so you can benefit. And I remember she was
The
saying
thing
that.
is that when she did it for me, and because when she signed up under me and I would get that $50 bonus, or she would try to convince people to do the bigger thing, so I would get a bigger bonus, I was happy about it because I needed that money so bad. And I didn't realize like that stacking was so bad until being out and being educated. Sorry to totally cut you off, but
No, this is
it's
helpful
interesting that it
because
was negative for you and
yeah,
positive for me. I think that's
yeah,
so crazy.
this is so valuable for people who are going to be leaving Monet and other multi-level marketing companies, is to see two former participants talk about their experiences, because it's going to be
Mhm.
like hitting different perspectives and different experiences. So it's good. Yeah, when she had said, well, it makes sense. She says, if you don't place an order, if I don't put someone underneath you, I'm going to miss my big bonus. And I thought, well, why do I care about that? Why is that? Why, already our relationship changed so drastically just because of this stupid pyramid scheme. Okay, so how did you wake up? So how long were you in Mon 8, and what was your process of like waking up to that this was a pyramid scheme?
So when I started waking up was a year later, so it was 2020, right? And after salons got shut down during the whole like COVID fiasco. So and I live in California, so we were shut down 9 months out of the year. So I had nothing going on. So that was when I dove in this entire freaking year of 2020 and was like, I'm going to go upstairs and work. And I would get on these coaching calls and do all this stuff or whatever, which there's another one that I want to talk about, but so we'll put a pin in that and come back to it. But and so I would go and work every day and we would do our power hours and all that shit, blah blah blah. And so I did that for about a year. And then towards the end of 2020, when Monations was virtual, and my team, we went and got an Airbnb in Palm Springs, and it was like 9 or 10 of us, and we watched it together in this Airbnb. And during that time when whoever the hell it was, Max, whatever, or I don't remember, Maxwell, whatever his name was,
Oh, John
and
Maxwell.
John Maxwell, and what was it, Tony Robbins, when he started talking about evangelical. Now, that's fine if you're a religious person, whatever, no harm, no foul, do your thing. I am not like that at all. I am like the closest thing to God about me is like when I say, "Oh my fucking God." Like, and that's it. Like, I'm not a prayer. I'm more agnostic atheist, if you will. Like, I do think that there is something out there. I believe in the universe. I like the idea of karma and that we don't just end when we die. But the logical side of me is like, yeah, you're just fucking dirt. So like I have these like so when so like when I'm watching these Monations things and they're talking about being more evangelical and like talking about God and just all this shit, it turned me off. And I was like, this is really icky for me because I am just not a religious person. Like this is just making me uncomfortable because it's not part of my personal beliefs. There's just I'm not that type of person. I know there are a lot of religious people that are in MLMs and just in general that love going to church, and there's nothing wrong with that. It didn't align with me. And so I was like, because to me religions always had like a culty aspect to them. I grew up as a Jehovah's Witness. Let's just throw that there. That's why I feel that way.
Right.
So um like having that, I was like, oh, this is like, it just started, the red flags started really showing. And I didn't like that. But then that quickly got buried when the new products got announced at the end of the year.
Oh my God. And what was
The
this in
greens, and it was the
the
greens
greens?
and
Oh
the
my God.
collagen.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my
So
God. And the
so all of that
collagen
got, so
tea.
I saw these red flags, and then the new products were announced, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, I have to get those." So I did. And then suddenly I was in again. But then as we continued through the year, it was just more of like all the John Maxwell quotes and all that stuff. And then maybe a month after that, it was a month or two after that, that there was some guy that did a presentation for our team, and he was somebody that worked for Tony Robbins. And then they tried to sell us this Tony Robbins experience, but it was a virtual experience. And I was like, oh fuck no, Tony Robbins is a total cult leader. Like, I was already on that bandwagon with Tony Robbins, thinking that, like, no, I don't like that guy, that's fucking weird, I'm not walking on fire, that's stupid. Like, that was me. So I was like, why on earth would you spend, and not only that too, is it was the same price to do this virtual experience with him. It's not like it was cheaper. You still had to pay like 2-3 grand. So I was like, no, absolutely not. I'm not going to do that. And then it was a little bit after that, I did one last training with my group. So I started listening to a different business coach. I had my hairstylist business coach. And then I had another business coach that was just focused on social media as a small business. And this wasn't MLM related. So this was just me working with people that own small businesses, me, my own salon suite, all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. So I started working with her, and I was learning a lot of social media captions and stuff. And so I created my own social media training for my team. And this is when I was like, I'd really like to do social media training um for like just anybody in general. Like, I can teach you how to use social media because I'm starting to understand how algorithms work and all that. So I did that last training with my team. And but it's funny because during this time that I'm doing this training, I'm watching CC Suarez's videos starting in January of 2021.
Wow.
So I was already getting out. It's just that I was like, well, yeah, let me just keep doing this, because if I'm good at this training and this goes well, maybe that's something I'll do in the future. So I'll kick back a bit and just see if I like this, see if this could be a possibility. So I just used it to my advantage. So this was me waking up, but I still remained in it for a few months. I was slowly stepping out. I didn't do a harsh cutoff, which I think did make it easier for me to leave in that aspect. By the time I finally did quit, I had some people were asking me, it looks like you stopped selling, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, well, I support you no matter what. And those people, the ones that reached out to me and said, I'm going to support you whether you're selling money or not, are the ones that immediately blocked me. Immediately.
Big surprise, right?
It's like, thanks, girl.
And so when you did you make like an announcement, or did you
No.
just stop? Like, you just kind of
I stopped. And so what I ended up doing is I did do like an email. So I got all the emails of my current clients that still were actively ordering, and I sent them an email, and then I CC'd my upline, and I said, "Listen, I'm no longer selling this. I got a link for a different product once I ended up getting a job at a different salon. I shut my salon suite down because I couldn't really grow it with the whole friggin' COVID thing. So then a friend of mine who was in that business coaching thing had opened up a salon locally. I reached out to her and I said, "Hey, are you hiring stylists?" And she's like, "I might. Yeah, come on over." So she ended up hiring me. And then she started selling Kevin Murphy, or we were selling Kevin Murphy and 11 out of her salon. And then she ended up being able to get me a link so I could sell my own retail with that line. And so after that, I stopped selling Manet. And I sent an email to all my clients. I said, if you still want to support me, this is the link to the new product line that I'm using out of the new salon that I'm working at. But I said, otherwise, all your questions can be directed to this person. She'll be there to help you. And after that, I sent Money a email. And then I had to also send them for my mom's account. So they would shut down my mom's account. And then my two best friends that had joined with me, one of them had just joined like maybe a few months before that. And I told her, she was trying to get her brother to sign up. And she said, let's just sign Andy up. And at this point, I knew I was done. And I said, no, absolutely not. Here's an email and you can copy paste this. I said, you're quitting today. And she said, I am. And I said, yeah, you're done. And my other girlfriend did the same thing.
Wow, good for you. I'm so happy that you had that strong relationship, and they weren't so deep in that they were able to. So when you started to look at anti-MLM content, how what was that like? Was there like a decision? Like how did it happen that you started to watch CC Suarez?
I don't know. What's so interesting to me is at the beginning of me joining Manet, I was like, before I decided to dive in, I was trying to find positive videos on my dog just totally opened the door. Dude, hopefully the TV's not loud down there. Otherwise, we're gonna get some extra sound effects in the background. But so when I first started joining, or when I first started thinking about joining, I was doing all the research and I was trying to find just a positive experience that somebody had through Mon8. I was like, somebody's got to say something positive. And I remember looking at all these creators. CC Suarez is one of them. That was a hate video. There was another creator, Brittany. I can't think of her last name right now. But she was another salon suite owner and she did a negative review on Mon8. And I was like, well, shit. And so I tried so hard and I found like maybe one or two positive videos and I was like, all right, whatever, that's fine. But then as I circled back in January and I started consuming more YouTube content, CC Suarez did pop up again. And her like watch before joining Mon8 that video popped up again. And I said, you know what? I'm going to watch it. And I did. And at that moment, I was like, I was right this entire time. I had these thoughts in the back of my mind. I was just like, but I feel like I should be able to trust these other hairstylists with all this experience and my friends, you know, above me. So it was like that cognitive dissonance that I'm like having the entire time I had this, realizing it. I didn't know it had a freaking term. And I also started listening to Life After MLM. And those are the things that kind of got me to go. And what's interesting too is I remember, because we mentioned with rank makers how that tough love thing kind of like it worked for me. It did get me out of my comfort zone. And I started doing the 14-day challenges. Like, well, Ray said I got to do it, so I'm gonna do it. The way that CC Suarez is like super spicy and straight to the point, like I respond well to more aggressive content, which is why I responded well to Ray. And while if I had watched a video from Hannah Alonso about not joining Manet, she's so sweet, that wouldn't have got me out. Like I needed a wake up stupid. And so that for me is the content that I responded well to. And because her sense of humor was very similar to mine, and I was like, dude, this girl's badass. And I just started binging all her videos. And then I was like, that's it, I'm done. And I said, and once I'm ready, I'm gonna make videos like this. And it took me a while before I wanted to share my story. Even when I shared my story, like I was telling you before, I didn't dump on it yet. I wasn't ready to be like, fuck this. I was still afraid to, like, I was embarrassed, basically, yeah, that I had fallen down that path. Like, I was like, this is so embarrassing. I can't believe after all these things and that I'm watching, and it was like, this is stuff that I knew, at least I thought I knew, and I ignored. And so to me, it was just like, I wasn't ready to be at the level that I am now.
Yeah. I think it's so interesting that you watched that you made that point about that tough love, and I'm similar, and I think a lot of people are, and I think a lot of it is, it's not even just tough love, it's just straight up abuse, but it gets framed in that way that this is like really helping you get out of your comfort zone. When I look back at some of the videos, I'm like, this is brutal. I can't even believe that this was like normal coaching, but I'm the same way. And so I know, like, when I make content now, and I just, in the video that I just made, the last one I made, I was explaining one of the approaches that I use is I'm giving back the training that we were taught in Rank Makers and Mon8. And I say it in like the same kind of condescension, that same kind of snot tone, because it's something that's familiar. And when somebody that is in a multi-level marketing company, they have to agree with me, because I'm saying exactly what we were taught in the same tone that's being taught. And I think that when there's, because otherwise it's like, you're a hater, this is, I can't look at this. But when there's that commonality, you're like, if they agree with one thing, it's the same thing on the outside. There's going to be, if I can get you to say yes once, I can probably get you to say yes again and again and again. It might just plant that seed. It might like pry open that crack in your mind, and like, and then get the fuck out. So when you decided to,
and again, I feel like, I'm sorry, I need to do that. I feel like I need to like backtrack right now too. Not that I was trying to like compare CC Suarez to Ray Higdon in any sort of way. I
No,
just
no,
meant like the directness that she has, where she's like, I don't give a fuck what you think about me. This is what I'm gonna say. Like that's what I responded well to. Not
yeah.
that
I mean,
I
yeah,
just felt like I really wanted to clarify that for anybody that's watching. Like I
yeah.
didn't want it to sound like it might have. It's just that directness and that, yeah, that like
It's
in the dark
this is
humor and the condescending and the sarcasm, that is my sense of humor, and that's where I related. So somebody who is very nice and caring, I wasn't ready for that yet.
yeah.
For some reason it was backwards for me, and I know for other people it's they need to hear the nice and feel like it needs to be a safe space. And for me, I need somebody to freaking crack the whip and pull me the fuck out because I'm in danger. Like
That's it. And this is
yeah.
the thing that's like the mind fuckery of all of this is that like tough love, it exists outside of multi-level marketing and it's a real thing. So the
Yeah.
two, it's like, like Ray could have a cup of coffee and you could have a cup of coffee. You both have a cup of coffee, but one is just a fucking asshole and the other person is a great person. So when you have someone that is
Right.
like the similar humor, it's so hard to even explain this because it's like, you're not like these other creators that I would like, oh yeah, I identify with this. Like I liked it was CC Suarez, Isabella Lanter. I was like,
Oh god,
yes,
I loved her.
you tell
I
him.
still love
You
her.
tell him
The
to
way
fuck off. That's right.
her and you, the way you guys just say fuck like it's nothing is my favorite thing. Like I'm like just both of you just all on YouTube just fuck fuck fuck. Like it's my favorite thing. I love it. I'm like that's it. Yeah, cuz who cares? Don't censor me. Like
Yeah, it's so that's been really difficult for me is to un like take apart what is the cult shit from multi-level marketing and like the reality. And it's not what I
right.
found is like feel felt found. What I've found is that it's not about, for me, it's not about throwing the baby out with the bathwater. It's not about like there's a number of items and I'm like, for me, this was good, I'll keep this. Oh, this was bad. For me, all of it is the exact same. And the reason where this drove home recently is I took leadership training through my work, actual
Don't
leadership
you
training.
dare.
Oh, is your dog doing something?
So sorry.
Oh, that's
No,
okay.
there was somebody outside and right below me is like our front door, and he was about to like jump on the computer and on my face, and I was like I needed to stop it. So
Please don't
sorry.
jump. Yeah, that's okay.
This is the stuff that gets edited out of my videos on my channel. It happens every time.
He's like, I'm gonna jump. I'm gonna jump on your computer.
This is why I don't do a lot of lives.
Lives. I like lives for the spontaneity and then like the social aspect too. And you don't know what's going to happen with this personal development or this leadership training I was taking. It was the exact same things: getting out of your comfort zone, improving 1% every day. And I thought, oh my God, how it's the same concepts. It's not, for me, it's not a matter of just picking something and discarding it, because what my experience has been is that all of these concepts have been like taken and distorted and like
Right.
manipulated. And when I left, it was, I don't even know how many months after it was left, I was watching a video from Mac Attack where he explained what we were doing was called emotional manipulation. I had no idea. I'm like, that's what I've been doing this whole time. Oh, when I was talking about like, wanting to unalive myself and then to recruit them into Manet, that's emotional manipulation. I only got that after watching anti-MLM content.
It's so I love that you said that too, because so my dad passed like was it 2 years ago now, 2.5 years ago now. And so that was like literally like the year after I quit Monet, right? And my thoughts, it's so because I find it took me like a really long time before I even shared with that on social media because I wasn't ready to tell people. And I just remember thinking to myself, like, I'm so glad that I'm not in that now because I know 100% I would have been told to leverage that and to like not like to leverage my father's death and say, oh, maybe somebody can help you out and buy more shampoo to pay for the funeral or whatever. Like I felt like I'm so happy that I wasn't in that that much vulnerability, because I know I was vulnerable when I joined, but to relive that moment when I had gotten that news, like, I was just, like, so happy that I could just, like, come like, not what's the word I'm looking for? Like, process that my own way without being pressured by anybody around me to do a certain thing. Like, I was like, because you see so many videos of people, like, in the hospital or whatever, or in the hospital with their mom or with themselves, like, "Well, yay, so happy I can work from anywhere." Like, stop working. What the fuck are you doing? Like, if y I'm just blown away by the stuff that I've seen that people do in a way of making it positive, like, I can work from anywhere and I'm hurting in the hospital, so but buy my shampoo, so happy I get to work from here. That's absolutely not how it should be, and it's really sad that people look spin that as a positive thing when it really shouldn't be. I mean, not to get into politics, but it's like our country is just a little messed up anyways, because I feel like we don't get enough sick time. We don't get enough vacation time to process it when shit does hit the fan for us. We are forced to go back to work. And even when you get like and to be like, well, I have a job where I'm not forced to work, but I can't anyway. It's not the flex you think it is. It's not okay. And it makes me sad, and it made me really really thankful that I was already out at that point, because I didn't want that to have to be something that I was pushed to do when I didn't. That's a comfort zone I didn't wanna be pushed out of.
I'm so sorry for your loss.
No, thank
Um,
you.
I'm glad that this is something that I really struggle with. I was doing an interview with it was called Canada Land. It's a documentary podcast that they put out. They did a really good job. They have no problem calling MLMs commercial cults. They're the only journalists I've come across so far that have no problem doing that. And in May 2021, my dad passed away, but I was
Oh,
still
I'm
in.
sorry.
And that's
Oh my
something that
gosh, I'm
really
so
bugs me
sorry.
because I didn't leave until December 2021. I'd stopped doing
My
live
heart.
videos every day, but like you can't get that time back, you know? And I'm like,
Yeah,
he doesn't know that I got out. Like he doesn't know that I was able to stand up and like call out this bullshit. So
yeah,
I'm so happy that you didn't have to do that because it's just another fucking level of that moral injury. You know, I did
yeah,
use my dad's death to try to sell shampoo and
yeah,
I
and
was
I'm
starting
I'm
to wake
s
up and I didn't
I'm
know.
so sorry that that happened to you as well, but with literally what you just said at the end of that, where, like, I feel like that's kind of what started pulling you out of it. And at the very end of the day, like, he might not be here to see my dad's not be here to see the work we're doing now and, like, hell yeah, keep people out of that, but for him to be he's the reason that you're doing this now because of that. It helped wake you up. And it sucks, and it's just fucking bullshit the way that I see so many people get caught up in that. And for me to be thankful that I'm not, and it's just like it pisses me off that you were even in that position. Like, and it's not your fault. And it's just these things need to be stopped, man.
Yeah.
It's
And we
fucked.
need, and it's, this is so good to expose it because the shame, I know like the shame that I felt, and I was watching other anti MLM content creators that have never been in multi level marketing, or maybe they just made a purchase and they understand. And
Mhm.
it helped me. I know it's helped you. It's helped so many of us, and it's created this a larger community, larger space in the world for people to come out and start speaking out and saying, "This is what I did. I did things I believed that were really good, and I betrayed myself, and I feel so much deep shame. I don't even want to speak about this, and a lot of people won't, and it's okay if they don't. But the more
Right.
that we do share our stories." The more people are going to realize that, oh my God, I'm being controlled. Like I have monetized everything. Every little thing in my life is
Oh my
monetized.
god,
I can't even go to
literally.
the bathroom. I got to monetize it. I go to the hospital. I've got to monetize it. Like the,
I
my business.
remember I got a job, like a receptionist job, and I was like, "I'll just do hair on the weekends," because it kept shutting down and opening up and shutting down and opening up during COVID. So I found a receptionist job, and I remember, like, I probably won't stay at this job for a while unless it really does make me good money, like, or it was a marketing job, marketing slash, like, receptionist job, whatever the frick it was so long ago. But I remember one of the other things that I had thought about was I'm going to meet more people so I can prospect them into my business. And that was January. And so when I realized that that was that same moment when I started getting out of it. So as I said that, I remember repeating it back to myself and thinking, I'm looking at people as numbers, not humans. And that is so not okay. Like, I'm not looking at them as humans. I'm just like, "Oh, you're probably a customer." And, like, if I did that now, like, as a hairstylist, like, it's just to think that you just want somebody you just want them to be your friend so you can get money out of them, and it's just completely transactional, and I don't and the friends that I made in Manet that, blocked me immediately were appalled by me going off and sharing my story, and even though I don't even feel like my story is as bad as some other people's because it was a very short-lived story because I managed to go through all the thought processes much quicker than I feel like some people do, but, oh, frick, I just lost my train of thought. I hate this about myself. It happens all
No,
the time.
this is
It's not the
this
wine,
is
I swear.
no, this is part of the cult. This is part of the cult deprogramming thing that I've learned. This is normal. So, and I don't, I mean, I understand what you're saying, where it's like my story isn't as bad, but it doesn't need to be graded. Like you were in two commercial cults. You were in Rank Makers and you were in Manet, and
Yeah.
it doesn't matter how long you were in. And it can be people can be in for a short period of time and have no problems, no ill experiences. People can be in for years and years and not really have, they can kind of just get out. It doesn't really matter. It's just all of our experiences, how far we get in, how much it affects us. A lot of us are getting in because we're vulnerable right away.
Yeah.
There's going to be healing from that, So I just want to
Yeah.
honor your experience. It's not about, the length of
And
time
that
or
was
the
one of the
glory.
reasons that I really did wanna start sharing my story because, like, as I listened to Life After MLM and watched all these other stories and stuff and kind of started to understand, like, what it was that I was a part of, me thinking, "Well, my story's not as bad, but it doesn't mean it's less valuable in
Ex-
any means because just because I saw through it and said, "You know what? I'm not gonna post that. That makes me feel gross." It doesn't mean that I still wasn't asked to. It doesn't mean that I didn't watch other people around me fall down that and continue to do that actually. Like
you know
watching
what?
those people that didn't block me, watching them just go to Transact Card and now to Olive Tree people and watching them just continue to fall down that rabbit hole. And I choose not to block them because I hope that they do see my content and start to understand it. Or if they don't see my content, they find somebody else that, watches it and like maybe they won't respond well to mine because they know me and they know sometimes I come off as kind of an asshole. So maybe they won't want to watch mine, but maybe they'll find somebody like you or Hannah that's going to be a little bit more forward with the listen, you were in a cult, this is a safe space because I definitely don't open up with that. And but that's just because I am who I am and I'm telling my
Yeah,
story and I'm doing it the way I want. And that's
that's
just
right.
it. And it's not going to click with everybody, but like everybody's story is valid. And I wanted to stress that I'm glad I finally had the opportunity to say that because I've never even said that, like, on my own channel, that no matter how long or how short of a period of time you were in any of these organizations, like, it's your story is still valid, and this is a
It's
safe
so
space for you
important.
now.
Yeah, and if we can help amplify your voice in any way, that's what this is about. And this is another thing that I think of too, because I felt similarly. And I think it's part of being in multi-level marketing is that you're not good enough. You need to be at a certain rank. Who's going to want to hear my story? Even like the way I would be
Shit.
watching anti-MLM content creators, and I'm like, but they're just reacting. Like they're not even working very hard. Like this was when I was first, it took me a long
Mhm.
time. It took me like a year and a half of fucking waking up. But they're not like, I'm thinking of all the shit I have to do to prepare for these videos. And it has to be so scripted and it's
Yeah.
so cringe looking back. And I'm like, people can just actually just be themselves. They're
Yeah, you can
actually
just be
just being
yourself.
themselves.
And yeah, reaction videos are a little bit easier because they are a little bit less produced, but I think they are also so valuable
Yeah.
because it shows how the content that we are reacting to is posted everywhere.
Yeah.
And you're not the only one watching it saying, "What the fuck did I just hear?" And to just show like its popularity on social media, like for people that just do like the MLM fails videos
Mhm.
and the MLM horror stories videos, like all that reactionary and just reading stories content, it's so good because it amplifies everybody's voice and it allows everybody to have a voice. And then it shows that every single story, even if it's just you ran into your neighbor tried to recruit you to Mary Kay and you were like, hell no. And that's the end of the story. Tell people.
Yes.
Tell people.
Just exactly what you said. I want to repeat that with like to anybody that's coming across this now in the weeks, years to come, is to have these conversations, like, because multi-level marketing has been able to grow to this like bloated, cancerous, disgusting thing that it is globally because people haven't talked about it. People have been afraid, especially people that have left it because of all these reasons. My story isn't good enough, or I'm too embarrassed, or, you know, all these reasons, or just pressure, intimidation, harassment. We lose our friends, we lose the community.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and then if you decide to speak about it publicly, you might have to worry about a cease and desist or privacy notice on your YouTube channel before you're even monetized.
What? Really?
Yeah. It's great. I haven't gotten a cease and desist yet, but I have gotten like privacy claim notices and stuff, which I think is hilarious.
Oh my God. I got a fake cease and desist.
Oh, fun.
I got it from Dustin Mansell from Paid Per Letter.
Interesting.
So I think he stayed up a little bit too late one night and got drunk and then decided to send it out.
Oh
and so
God.
then I read it out on the live video because there was a condition. It wasn't very well written. There was a number of weird things that he was saying, but ultimately the whole point is that if I obeyed his wishes, then he would agree to come on a live stream with me.
Oh my God.
On my channel.
If you would agree to obey his wishes, what is this, like a ransom letter? Like, what is going on? That sounded a little bit more like true crime, and now we're like crossing my two favorite like subjects. This is great.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to read some of these comments. We have so many great comments coming in here, and I want to go back and then you can comment on them too, because I was cutting you off.
We've been doing that to each other. This is a great conversation. I love it.
Okay, so here we go. Julie says she's Platinum Chelsea. Her channel is great.
Thank you.
And Emery says, did not Manet give you trouble for selling different shampoo afterwards?
No, because I had quit. I mean, I guess I didn't officially quit yet, but I think because it wasn't another network marketing company, there wasn't anything they could do about it. Technically, if they wanted to be like, that's a conflict of interest, I'm a 1099 contractor. Like I'm an independent contractor for Manet. So it's like, you can't have that much control over me. Like, and if they could have just ended my contract, then I would have been like, because that was my other thought too. Like, if they did get mad, I was going to be like, well, cool, then they'll cut it off for me and I won't have to do anything. But, yeah.
Oh, you know,
but yeah, no, I never got in trouble.
I have there's this comment too. I have so many things I want to say. They're all coming into my head at once. But this one says, Belle says, it's wild. We were all in the 14-day challenge at the same time, and now we're here.
I love that. What a fun reunion this is.
Challengers!
Hashtag 14-day challenge.
Exactly.
So if you want to know more about the wine I'm drinking, just send me a DM. And
if you want to know more about the wine I'm drinking,
and then I'll recruit you into my pyramid scheme.
Yeah, exactly.
And the benefits. That's right. I forgot about the benefits.
The benefits of the wine is that it tastes good, relaxes you, but the benefits of the benefits, it grows your hair.
And I made a PDF. So if you send me a DM, I can send you all the information that you can go back to it at any point in time. Let me just add this value to your life right now.
Exactly. I just made an ebook just for this one video, and it gives you like 29 tips about how to like drink your red wine properly. And if you send me a DM right now, drop a one if you're catching this on the replay.
I can't believe I did that.
Me too. I can't believe I did it too.
My God.
Thank you so much, Glenn, for encouraging everyone to like this stream. And Gwen, so that's like, thank you, Glenn. And then also thank you, Gwen. Gwen says, I remember some of the 14-day challenge videos you did, Julie, just after finding you on TikTok. And here we go. Crypto Ponzi Scheme Avenger. Hello. Good afternoon from New Zealand. And Jess L says, action cures everything. Sam, good night. And Rescue Ninja says, yuck, he would take credit for that. I think this is, anything you would have success. It'd be like, well, that's why she's such a success, is because I remember when I left Rank Makers and I began speaking out right away. I felt like I had to tell the world. I felt this
Yeah.
urgency. And then Ray made a fucking video about me, one of many. And he's like, she never had much success at all until she came in here. I'm like, you're such a
Yeah,
fucking
sure.
animal.
Okay.
So
After he told you to not do anything on TikTok. What's funny though too is like, because during that time, I wanted to go back to this too.
okay.
During that time that he was calling it ding dong, like I was super into Gary Vee. That's a whole other cringe story as well. But I remember Gary Vee talking TikTok up and me being like, for me, it was just too overwhelming. That was another social media platform. I never really dove into it. But like I do remember like it being it's so funny that somebody like Ray was like making fun of it, and then you had somebody like Gary Vee who is just in a different, like, he's a little toxic, but I feel like his like understanding of technology and the internet is what got him to where he is. So it's like he's more somebody that I would trust when it comes to internet advice over Ray Higdon, just based on the fact that he owns an actual media company. So I'm going with what Gary Vee says here if I have to choose.
Well said. Here we go. Oh yes, here we go. Doris, they even had branded cards for Wealth Wednesday to put money in and give away. I remember those. Do you remember those?
No.
You could
No,
buy
I
them
must
from
have
the
missed
Higdon.
that.
You could
Okay.
buy them from the Higdon shop, and it would say
Okay.
Wealth
Okay, I'm
Wednesday.
not surprised. Okay. The only thing I ever bought from the Higdon shop was the book with all the scripts, and I lost it like a week later. I haven't seen it since.
You're
And
not
I've
missing
moved. I still
anything.
can't find it.
No.
I wish I could find it because I really want to share it. I
Yeah,
want to read it. Still be
yeah.
like, these are, you need to watch out for these things, because I remember receiving the scripts later, like on LinkedIn. And I'm like, I know that script.
I know this. You can tell a rank maker from a fucking mile away.
Yes, you can. Same thing. Ugh. I have so many of those messages in my LinkedIn from other people, which I
Okay.
just think is so funny. But it's like, you
Um,
can't tell people that you're in it, but it's like, maybe if I did, I wouldn't get so many of those messages, because now we're just wasting each other's time. But thanks.
Iwana is here. She's also ex rank maker. Hello.
All right. Hello.
And let's see. Okay, there we got. Now I got up this. George says, any suggestions how to show people the truth on some different MLMs? You have any? This is a tough question.
It is tough because it depends on, how like indoctrinated they are, and if they're open, to actually like listening to other information. So I mean, I I don't know, cuz you can go back and forth. I mean, for fuck's sake, I remember before I joined, I shared the John Oliver video about how MLMs are pyramid schemes on my Facebook. Still ended up in one. So it's like, I don't know that there's really advice other than saying, "Hey, I don't think this is good for you." And then I because you can't tell people they're in a scam. They won't listen. They're gonna think you're a hater. I think the best advice is to not support them by not buying their products and not sharing that, and just say, you know what, I don't align with MLMs. But best of luck to you, and kind of letting them know that you don't hate them, and that you're not gonna like block them for being annoying and in an MLM. And just so that way, when they're done, and then not saying I told you so, just saying, yeah, that was crazy. I can't believe you sold that, but I'm really glad you're out now, whatever. Like, you have to just approach it a different way. You can share videos if you want to try that, but it's just a fine line to walk, because as soon as somebody associates you with us haters, then they're not going to listen to anything you say ever, and then they're not even going to come to you as a safe space when they finally get out. So that's just a tough line to walk, honestly. I don't really know that I have a good answer.
I agree with everything you said, and I think the best is this awareness, education beforehand, to help empower people to avoid getting recruited into these things in the first place. Because once they're in, oh god, these things, they're sophisticated thought reform
Yeah.
programs, and like
I
you
guess
against pyramid schemes, you shared John Oliver's video and you still get sucked in,
yeah.
because
Yeah.
this is what happens. They're so sophisticated.
I guess one of the best things you could do for the MLMs that do release like their their earnings statements, not the earnings statements, the what is it called?
Income disclosure.
Thank you. Jesus, words. Yeah, so the income
Routine.
disclosures, like whatever companies like say, well, even if you can't find like that specific MLM and like somebody's thinking about joining an MLM or whatever, um if you can just find any and then kind of relate like other articles that shows, this they have the same compensation structure. And this company, they don't make any more money. So what's to say that it's going to be different in this one? And here's a bunch of other compensation plans showing that you can't really make it that far. Another thing that really like sunk the nail in the coffin for me was when I got my not my W2, but my 1099 form or whatever they send you after just however much money you made. It showed that I made like 2 grand, but then I went to Manet and I looked at all the shit I bought plus all the like with the Monations and the money spent on that trip and just all of that. And then that's not even including time. I lost $1,000 in that year that I thought I made an extra 3,500. I'd spent over $3,500 on that bullshit. So it's like sometimes you can't really see it until the money's gone. And so I do think that if you do want to try to convince somebody that what they're in is not going to be good, or if they're thinking about joining something and they're asking your opinion, those income disclosure statements are probably going to be the strongest thing you can present to them.
Here we go. Jess L says, as an ex-MLMer, I definitely responded to more tough love and fully getting out and needed more of gentle approach too. Straight to the point, no BS. Yeah.
Yep.
Congratulations on getting out.
So happy to have you here.
That's right. I like Glenn here is just on fire. He's like 77 watching. Why is there only 22 likes? Come on, thumbs up the stream. And I never ask people to thumbs up the stream or like and subscribe. It's just one of my things. But Glenn, thank you. You're doing good work.
Yes, thank you. The more we at least like get some thumbs up and likes, it'll push the algorithm. We can get to more people, spread the word. So
that is true. And yeah. And crypto Ponzi scheme Avenger, go check out this guy's channel. He is doing good work. If you give them love hearts, it tells YouTube to broadcast the stream further. I thought I had missed. Oh no. Emery says, I love Mac Attack.
Me too.
You too.
He's great.
Yeah. And Melody says, hey guys, I am EX-MONAT HUN too.
Oh, hey, hey. Okay, wait. Question for the class. I mean, obviously there was like the certain like high. So my team somewhere up there. I was underneath Jessica Shoney. I don't know if you know her, but if you ever take a look at her, take a look at her hair and tell me if you think she's selling a great shampoo or not. That's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to judge somebody's hair. I'm just saying you can't.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I can. I don't give a fuck. If your hair looks like shit, it's like you're selling Manet and you're telling everybody, oh, your hair is in.
Exactly. And they want you to be the product. Then what are you doing?
Yeah, exactly. Tony
be a product of the product.
You know, Tony Van Schoik, the head, the fucking.
Tony is the first one, isn't she? Yeah, she was the
number
first one.
Yeah, and her hair looks like toast.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
Yikes.
Oh my God, yeah.
Okay, Sarah Hill was one of the people. So there was some other like another sidebar about my story. After I had gotten out, I can't remember who told this to me, if it was on a phone call or a text or something. It wasn't anywhere in my social media messages. I tried to find it. But I remember somebody had mentioned to me, they're like, oh yeah, we heard. It also might have been one of the girls that blocked me that told me this. And that's why I can't find it. But it said, I heard you were liking a bunch of like hate posts or something. And then, so because I was liking, I don't know, a couple of the big anti-MLM channels on Instagram, I started liking those. And this was before I canceled my account. So, but people somehow far in my upline got whiff of it, because there's this girl, Sarah Hill. She's super high up in Manet. And what she does is she goes to those anti-MLM channels. She goes to every single person that's liked any of the posts and blocks them. So I'm blocked by her and she's nowhere in my upline. And that is the only thing I could think of that it got back, like she went to my profile and saw who I was following and who was following me, because it shows like Clean Beauty Tribe and a bunch of other like, well, Clean Beauty Tribe is the Instagram of my upline or whatever. So not to, I'm just saying she saw a bunch of the people on Instagram that were following me and following her too that were linked to Manet. And I think that was how it got back to that I was liking hate
Wow.
posts when I was still in it.
Just for liking a post that now they have
And
to
they're
block.
educational. Yeah, but yeah, just for liking a post, Sarah Hill is somebody that will block anybody. So if you want to be blocked by a Manet hun and never use her as your anti-LMO content anymore, but you see, I have multiple Instagrams, so it's not a problem for me.
That's right. It's like not a problem for me. When I was began speaking out against rank makers and Manet, some of the 100K inner circles had a meeting, and so one of my coaches was Jennifer Ryla, and she has screenshots. She got a lot of evidence before she got kicked out too, but they were one of them. One of the coaches was like, and I'm not going to say his name, but he said, Julie's just turned anti-MLM. I'm blocking her now. And then everybody's like, I was wondering where she went. And then Mary Kate O'Connell, who I don't know if you remember her, but she's no longer affiliated with them. But she was on that reality show too. She was, she had some kind of role, like customer service, some kind of thing
Okay, name sounds super familiar, but
yeah, she was very controlling, and she had said, "Oh, we escorted her out of rank makers." I just left the group; they never escorted me out. I just think it just cracks me up.
Funny.
And
I quit, made a video about Ray, and I didn't even get out of the group. So it's like they don't know who I am in there. I wasn't loud enough. I think that's why.
I got to see the video. Can you please send me that link to your video afterwards, because I want to watch that video.
Yeah, I did a reaction video to one of Ray's trainings like a while ago.
Oh my God,
first things I did with anti-MLM content. I can't believe we haven't met before.
I can't.
Like, what took us so long?
Thank goodness for Cece Suarez.
Seriously.
Helping us get out, helping us reconnect. It's great.
Exactly. And Transact Card, I guess, because it was our content that brought us together.
Okay, now here we go. Jessel says, hugs Julie. Thank you, Rescue Ninja. ASD FASD says, Julie, I really appreciate your videos. You're awesome. Thank you. Elizabeth says, hugs, ladies. You're doing good work.
Thanks, Elizabeth.
And here, Jess L says, my ex-upline leader convinced me to show the presentation less than 2 hours after a friend passed away at the early stages of my MLM story.
That's so sad. Like, why?
And I know
grief is so different for everybody, and to basically say you need to set that aside, it's so controlling. It's just not okay.
And this is all about, it's controlling your behavior, and it's controlling your emotions. It's controlling everything. So grief, like, to just say now, get back to activity, because the cult, multi-level marketing, takes precedence over even your friend passing away. The best way through it is to now dedicate this to your friend, or to get over yourself. This is indulgent. Grief is now labeled as selfish or indulgent. And so the only way through that is to work for a cult, unpaid labor for a multi-level marketing company. It's so gross. But I remember when I was in it, I remember feeling like, I remember doing this kind of shit, I thought this was, I just got to get out of my comfort zone. This isn't me grieving. It wasn't this exact example, but when I wouldn't want to do something, it was labeled as my comfort zone, and I needed to get through it. And that was why I didn't have success. So anything that I didn't want to do, that meant I had to do, because that was probably, I was self-sabotaging.
Yeah. What was your highest rank in Manet?
Managing market builder.
Managing market builder. I think I only ever made it to market builder.
And it was before the lawsuits happened. And I was like one of the first few people in my community to do Manet. So I had that advantage. Like, the market wasn't saturated yet, because now I see they've hired Eric Worre. So funny. I see Eric Worre is partnering with Manet, oh, is so exclusive. Yet he's also partnering with Herbalife, so exclusive. Nobody's ever done that. And all these Manet market partners are saying, oh, we're doing this 90-day run or something, and our rank ups have increased 1,700% since Eric Worre has signed with us. And people are like losing their shit because they're ranking up to the first rank, which is MMP. And I'm like, holy fuck, how bad is Manet tanking when they're losing their
tanking.
minds?
I know that because I know like 3 people with, well, my upline's upline or whatever, she had a Cadillac for like years through Manet, and she left for Olive Tree People. And then my upline left for Olive Tree People. Those are the 2 hairstylists left for Olive Tree People. And one of the posts from my direct upline, I remember she posted somewhere on social media that she's like, well, I don't care if I never rank up. You know, this isn't about the money. This is about the community. And it's like, what the hell? Then anything else you've ever posted is obsolete. Like what? Then why talk about how you're going to have a Cadillac one day? Like, because she never got it. We would talk about it together. We're both going to drive Cadillacs.
Yeah. Oh my
She
God,
bought a Jeep and then was the Jeep club and everything. And then, you know what? Thank God. Left Manet, sold the Jeeps. Now I drive a Camaro. I'm happy. I picked a different C word.
Right on. Glenn says,
and I bought it, damn it.
Yeah, you bought it. Yeah, legit. So true. The people in MLMs will be your best friend until you quit. Second you quit, they will block you. And they'll make content about you too. That happens.
Yeah.
Did that happen?
It's fine. We're making content about them.
Exactly. It's like, I'm like,
it's even playing field.
All those 14-day challenges, all those daily live videos for me, 3.5 years straight, making 50 pieces of content a day on stories. I'm like, look the fuck out now when I'm making content. Melody says, I will come back and watch the replay. Have a great night, ladies. Can't wait to watch. Good night, Melody.
Good night, Melody.
Rescue Ninja says, you are totally brainwashed to see everyone as a potential target. It's so gross. It's also overwhelming and exhausting trying to keep up, and the deep shame when you don't meet your goals.
Yeah.
Yep. And here we go. This is another great comment from Rescue Ninja. You speaking up helps validate the rest of us who were gaslit and brainwashed when we were questioned what we were actually doing. Yeah, we're all in this together. It really makes a difference.
I didn't even fully understand gaslighting until I was out. I didn't understand what the hell that was. And now I see it all the time. Just in regular life. I'm like, what? And I like to fuck with my fiance sometimes. I'm like, are you gaslighting me right now? Just to be funny. Because now it's kind of funny because it's not funny, but you get what I mean. My dark sense of humor, I can't help it sometimes.
I think us ex-MLMers, and there's so many of us, we have really good dark sense of humor, and we are really good at getting out of our comfort zones. That's why I think that more and more of us start making content on YouTube. This is something that I wanted to say too. These people in multi-level marketing, especially opening up new multi-level marketing companies, I knew not just them, but everybody, their egos are so fragile. So if you think about it, a lot of these people are malignant narcissists. They have to be. They have very little empathy. They have delusions of grandeur, the grandiosity. They need excessive admiration. And they're running these multi-level marketing companies. Their ego is so fragile. And when they have content made about them or like taking apart, deconstructing exactly what they're doing, it really affects them. And I was blown away. Like, if you make a piece of content on YouTube, so if you're in multi-level marketing, you're exiting, you're like, you know what, I think I want to make content. And you can always change your mind at any time. But man, I'm telling you, YouTube is the place to do it. Facebook is good, TikTok is good, Instagram is good, but YouTube, it carries this weight with these fuckers. It is wild. Like,
dude.
It's just so you are going to actually reach people, and it's going to reach them too. And you're going to be planting seeds. You're actually going to be impacting people. So start a YouTube channel. We need more anti-MLM content creators on YouTube.
And don't let them silence you. Those privacy complaints that you get, all of that stuff, it doesn't. Do your due diligence and make sure legally you're doing everything properly. Use protective language, all of that, but don't let them silence you.
Yeah, a lot of it, it's the same. It's cult tactics, and you're not alone. You know, there's so many of us out here. So, reach out to someone that you connect with or you identify with. So yeah, we just want to encourage as many people as possible to start making their content on YouTube,
Absolutely.
George says trying to get people in Transact Card watch your stuff. Yeah, that's good. Both of us have content, and check out Platinum Chelsea. She's cranking out the content on Finmore.
You always, and you delete the comments from people that don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
I don't. I respond to the majority of them. And there was this one comment that I got, and it was in Spanish. And I think I responded in Spanish. I don't speak Spanish fluently, but Spanish is a huge part of my life. My fiance is Hispanic. Their entire side speaks Spanish, but irrelevant in this situation, sort of. But I responded in Spanish, and because the translation from he had added it afterwards. So the part that he edited to add was that I had no credibility, but I responded to it before he said that. And what he said was like, well, if you have proof that Transact Card is a pyramid scheme, then go make a complaint. And I'm like, well, many people have made complaints to the FTC and wherever else. I'm like, and that's what this whole movement is about. And I was like, but if that doesn't work, we're still going to keep making these videos, and we're going to make sure people are aware so that way they don't join. And what was interesting is I responded that in Spanish, and then he responded back, and then he added his first comment to add the "you have no credibility." But then it was like he didn't even say that afterwards, because what he responded with after that was like, it was something along the lines of like, "You're doing great work. Like, thank you, friend, for making sure people don't get scammed." It was very interesting. And I was
Wow.
and I'm for that. I love that, because it's like he heard me out. I don't
Wow.
know if he was just more shocked that I chose to actually read his comment and acknowledge it when it was in a different language,
Yeah.
because I think that is super important too. Anybody who is Spanish speaking, or does speak another language fluently and has been a part of an MLM, it's so important that we have these Spanish speaking channels for the people that I know. Princess House is really big in the Hispanic community, and I really want to do videos on that. But I know it would also be more powerful coming from somebody who does speak Spanish fluently and is of Hispanic descent, because I'm not. I'd be a white girl faking my way into trying to speak Spanish, which I know is respectable. My in-laws would love it if I spoke Spanish. But it's like it's important to spread it even farther than that. We need to get these videos up in different languages, and we need to because it's not just happening here, it's happening everywhere.
Exactly.
And especially those marginalized communities. It's not okay, because they are more vulnerable in certain situations. So it's just not, yeah, we need to get louder.
Yes. And when we're in multi-level marketing, and if you had any coaching from rank makers, it would be, you get a lot of people doing a little bit. You can make content on anything. Like, if you are wanting to speak out with anti-MLM, literally any perspective is going to be good. Your perspective is
Absolutely.
your niche. Like what you just pointed out, I delete those comments. Very rarely I let one stand. There's a difference. You respond to them. Other people, we all do things differently, and it's all good. So there's room for you at the table. What we said in multi-level marketing, you can literally make it on whatever you want. And there's so many millions of people that are still getting sucked into these scams globally, that however you make content, however you want to do it, you have total free reign. You can,
it's your channel. Do what you want.
Yeah.
I love that you do delete the comments, though, because I mean, for you, it keeps it that safe space. Like, you don't even want to deal with it, and you don't want your subscribers and whoever's watching to deal with it. So it's like, okay, we'll get it out of here. Like, we don't need that. We don't need no negativity. Like, that's not our place. And for me, I like to respond, but sometimes I don't. When I first started getting comments that were kind of negative, I would, for my adrenaline, I'd be pissed. And I'm like, I'd be like, okay, I'm going to sit. But then as a hairstylist, I had some full-time content creators sit in my chair, and I talked to them about how I would handle it and how I would respond. And it's given me a lot of insight in how I move forward with carrying myself and responding to those comments.
See, this is so valuable, because it's like modeling the behavior that is good for each individual. Because when you're in multi-level marketing, you have to all do it the exact same way.
Right.
And any difference is it's wrong. And that, you know, when you leave, you can, I know I carried that with me. I was inadvertently, I'm like looking at everything. I was reading about this. It's like you still carry this black and white thinking and like judging things as right and wrong. And I felt that with myself. And so I think that's what's so awesome about, you know, when you leave one of these high demand groups, you start speaking out. You can make content however you want. You get to make your own boundaries. And
Yeah, exactly.
we're here for you. Though there's a huge community out here of people who have never been in multi-level marketing, and they're mad as hell that this is going on, that you can see like members of the DSA just meeting with various like members of the government in all countries, but like they just recently did this in the US. The FTC does nothing. People are mad.
Yeah.
And so you're not alone.
Yeah.
Like, so there's other like people that have been in multi-level marketing, but then people who have never been in multi-level marketing. So I just want to keep hammering that. George, send me the clip then. I have an audio clip for Transact card. I have to send you. Tobly@yahoo.com, or you could find me on Instagram, or you can contact Platinum Chelsea maybe too if you want to, you know.
We're all here for it.
We're all here for you. You might be suing Transact card. Well, that'd be something to see, eh? Crypto says, hey, Admiral Derek, you have worked tirelessly to bust these Ponzi MLMs over the last 2 years without the recognition you deserve for it. Good to see others pushing the same conversation. Well done, Crypto Ponzi Avenger. Thank you, Crypto G. MLM is fraud, which is Glenn. One thing the anti-MLM community does not do well is support people who are sued by MLM companies. When a company sues an anti-MLM, we should all talk about that company more. Yeah, I think maybe in the future there may be eventually some kind of more organizing, but I still see it's early days. Like a lot of people still need to heal before there's, you know, when you kind of trying to rally a lot of people that have been in cults and tell them what to do, it's just not, it's too soon.
Yeah.
For me anyway, soon. I'm like, I can't know.
No, yeah.
We have so many good comments here. I'm going through. Just going to get down here. Thanks, Crypto Ponzi. Here we go. Rob says something special about a chick who says, for fuck's sakes, give me one more, please. Oh, God. Iwana says, I remember Julie doing lives and I would ask for those golden nuggets you were sharing. Oh, my God. TikTok tips. I knew I'd always win one of those 14-day challenges if I talked about the TikTok tips because they couldn't. I knew because nobody else was doing it. Oh, I'd win $200. Think it was so amazing. Oh my God, the cringe. So fucking embarrassing.
Okay. Oh man.
Iwana says you don't see that the money is gone because you believe that you're investing in yourself and your business. So who's counting, right?
It's true.
Yeah, it's true. Hello, Factress, Jackie, Unfiltered, Jen, and Two Cats. Hello. Iwana says I don't see her together with Stacy and Nicole. This was that Mary Kate O'Connell I was talking about. No, she's not in Rainmakers anymore. She left. The last thing I knew about Mary Kate was I found out that she has like some kind of degree in psychology. She was working with somebody else who used to, I forget her name. It started with an A. It wasn't Anu. It was something like that. But she would screen people to get coached by Ray's, like Ray's mastermind, like not just the 100K Inner Circle coaches, but they splintered off and started some new women's, like a replica of Rank Makers, and talking about NLP and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh shit. And then I think she might have gone into Bravenly too. Like I think she was in Modere and then went into Bravenly. But it used to be Stacy Nicole and this Mary Kate O'Connell. I just want to see them all get out and stop hurting people, you know. KB says the folks in the MLMs are buying their cars too. They just don't know it.
I know. That's the problem. That's so true.
Yeah. And Iwana says each one of us has unique story to tell. Yeah. David, hello. And Factress says, and Factress has had parents in Amway and has shared a lot of conversations over various live streams I've done. It is hard to participate in any organized groups once you've been in a high control group. You sense that control of your life might be lost again. I think that makes anti-MLMers hard to organize. Yes, I agree with that. How are you doing? How are you doing like outside of this? Like, do you do group activities? Like, have you joined anything or how have you healing from this moving on?
I am such a I don't even like to leave my house, if I'm being honest. Like, I just, like I'm like, "Don't talk to me." I don't wanna be lied to or gaslit today, so I just, like, don't talk to people, to be completely honest. Like, I just I don't wanna deal with it because I don't think people are out I've turned very, like, cynical, I guess. I feel like there's just I just don't like to deal with it. Like, I'll go out to happy hour with my coworkers and stuff, and, like, I have, like, my core friends, but and also right now, just wedding planning is pretty much, like, taking over my entire life, so there's that. Um, but, I mean, for me, just my outlet and me coping and getting through it is the anti-MLM, either watching it and hearing other stories and knowing I'm not alone, and then getting on here and making my own content and helping the movement, so that's kind of, like, where I'm at.
Yeah, I'm the same. I don't want to go out with people. I don't trust people. Everywhere I'm like, who's going to try to recruit me? Or
Yeah.
somebody wants something from me. I'm just so
You know what's funny? As somebody who, like, I I've worked for a local news station, which has turned me very, like, terrified because I see things that gets edited out, like the car accidents and the murders and stuff. I know all the stories that don't get told, and so that got me, like, really high anxiety. I worked at 2 in the morning, I didn't wanna leave my house, blah, 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 whatever, all that stuff, and then I started watching a lot of true crime because that's, like, true crime and wine, whatever. It's my thing to do in my downtime to unwind, and you would think that I would be more afraid of getting taken than I would be of getting recruited into an MLM.
that says it right there.
But I'm like, "No, no, no."
That's how bad it is on this scale. Like,
Yeah,
get kidnapped and beaten and like dismembered, or get recruited into like
yeah,
Transact card.
exactly, yeah. Or, dude, the girl that tried to recruit me into Amway, I am so like, when I see posts where, like I see posts in, like, local groups and stuff where they're like, "Oh, yeah, this person came up to me and, like, did their whole, like, spiel." I'm like, "Yeah, that's definitely Amway, run. Run for the hills." Like, that's not like, just don't do it, and it's so funny because 'cause I'll see a bunch of people commenting like, "Oh, yeah, that happened to me before," and I was like, "Oh, yeah, they tried to recruit you in a pyramid scheme." Like, "Don't do that, you're gonna join a cult, don't do that." Like, and it's like and you see so many other people that comment like, "Yeah, dude, that happened to me too," and it was super weird. And for me, it happened in an organic way with an old friend that I went to school with, and she came to my salon and she was a model from one of the first salons that I got a job at. She was like a hair model for me, and we just like really bonded, and it was like about like positivity and all this toxic positivity at the time. Did not realize that that was a thing, but it was really like mindset driven and all that and money mindset and all this and well if I started doing this thing and my mentors are millionaires and maybe they'd like to meet you. I'll tell them about you and see if I can get them on a call with you. And then and I was like, okay, well that makes sense. I'm talking to my brother about it. He's like, well, yeah, it makes sense. If you want to, be a millionaire, talk to somebody who's been there, how to learn how to invest your money and stuff. And that's what I'm thinking it is, like investments or something, not a pyramid scheme. So I try to every time I see those posts on social media, like I try to like jump on that like it's Amway. Don't do it. Like it's such a bad idea. That's what they do. And I feel like that's starting to spread where people are
Yeah.
starting to realize the Amway recruitment system is a bit different than the others.
In the past and not too recent past, if you would respond back like this is Amway or watch out for this is a pyramid scheme, you'd get like swarmed by people within various multi-level marketing companies, and it still
Mhm.
happens. But there's each time somebody challenges it openly on social media, it carves out more of safety for other people to do it too.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that's what we need. We need to have as many people as possible saying this is a pyramid scheme. This is a pyramid scheme. So then there's not going to be these companies that are like, I'm going to sue you for saying this is a commercial,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. My favorite thing that I have noticed too in like some of the groups that I'm in, when they're like, "Hey, I'm looking for a new, protein shake," or "Hey, I'm looking for a new shampoo," or "Looking for a new skincare line," and at the very end of the post, they're like, "No MLMs, please." And there's always somebody in the comments of what's wrong with MLMs. I've used this such and such or whatever, and it's done great for my skin. And then I just kind of like always want to go back to, well, did you have a skincare routine before you started using it? Were you using drugstore shampoo before you started using $50 shampoo?
Exactly. That
Like,
was me.
it will
Big
just
surprise.
even so, it's not even like you could use drugstore shampoo, but it's like, were you using a leave-in conditioner or a heat protectant before? No, you weren't. Those are the products that are gonna make a bigger difference, not just a shampoo. Shampoo, conditioner can make a difference, but it's when you put the whole routine around it, and then now suddenly you're going in there with good hair every day because you wanna be a product of the product. So you're spending time doing your skincare routine, making sure your skin looks great. You are spending time doing your hair care routine, making sure your hair looks great. You are spending time working out, drinking protein shakes because you wanna look good so you can sell the product. That's why it works for you, because you do all the other things around it to create that illusion, and you don't even know you're doing it. It's crazy, like, when you start to put it all together.
You just nailed it. This is so good. There's so many like snippets. This is so good. Um, do you have I want to talk about like any Monat products, like you had mentioned, like the blowout cream. I think this would be fun to do because there's a tendency to be like, all the products are overpriced and shit, but I really loved a lot of the products. And I know
I
like when I
love
look
the
back,
stupid
I'm
blowout
like,
cream, honestly.
oh
I
fuck,
wish
I'm
I
like
could just buy that at the store. Like, why can't I buy that? Why can't we why can't I steal the ingredients and make my own blowout cream? Because that would be a bad idea, that's why. But their freaking blowout cream was so good, and I hate that it was. And my other girlfriend really liked the air dry cream, and she's like, "Honestly, my hair felt the best when I was using Monat." And what's funny too is like with her, she always used good products. She used the Biolage by Matrix, and then when she got off Monat, I buy her things at my cost as a hairstylist, and she just Venmos me the money, and I just send it to her, like, directly from the store. I have it sent to her. I don't even know if I'm allowed to do that. I don't care. I do it for her. And so she's using professional products. So it's not like when she was using Monat, it was a situation where like, "Oh, well, were you using shitty products before?" Because she was always using good products. And so it's so funny to me that she really did like the products, and I do know there are so many people that don't like them. And that's okay. Not every product's for I know I have clients that absolutely don't like the products that we sell in the salon, and they choose other products. Everything's different. I'm not a fan of Olaplex, but a lot of people love it. So it's like it's just everything works different for everybody. But I don't know. Yeah, that blowout cream though always got me. What about you? What were your favorite products?
well, I really like that. I used all the shampoo, the intense repair and intense repair shampoo and intense repair conditioner were good, but the intense repair conditioner would be a little bit heavy. So then I'd have to make sure I could only put it on the ends of my hair and not on the roots. I like the black 2-in-1 too, because the tingle. I know some people
I
they had
liked that. But
yeah.
okay, so if you do I know, Paul Mitchell makes a, lavender mint that gives a similar tingle, and
Oh,
honestly, Head& and Shoulders, I think, has menthol in it, and it gives you that same tingle. I've used it before, because I've used it when I'm trying to strip my toner, when I overtone my hair, and as a hairstylist, Imma tell my clients, "Don't use Head& and Shoulders," and it's because it strips your color out. It's a very harsh shampoo, and that's
oh.
why it does actually work well for dandruff and things like that. But so, I mean, I am a very science-based hairstylist. Hopefully my boss don't see this because she'll be like, "Why the hell are you" she might see this, whatever. Hi, sorry.
Hi.
It's just like I'm a very like science-based where I don't always think sulfates are bad. I don't think silicones are bad. Silicones are what make your freaking hair shine. That's what helps seal a cuticle down so that way your cuticle's not all open like this and your hair is not breaking and snagging on everything. Like these are good things for your hair. If there are more sulfates in a shampoo, yes, it can strip your color. So as a like girl, I'm not going to tell you please don't go use that the day after you get your hair done and then text me and say my hair color doesn't look good anymore. Well, that's why you want to use a color protect shampoo that has less of those harsher ingredients so that way it doesn't strip your color. Also depends on porosity. We could get in a whole hair education situation right now. But I'm definitely very science-based when it comes to a lot of different products. And I like to compare the Monat products with other products and figuring out why it works for some people and why it doesn't and why they had those lawsuits of hair loss because they do use I did make a video on this about the ingredients. They do use a controversial ingredient in there that can be bad for you and a lot of people do seem to have allergic reactions to, which is why if you like you're having an allergic reaction, that's why you're losing your hair. No, it's not shedding or it's not detoxing. That's not a thing. Stop using it. You're allergic to it. It's not your fault. You didn't know. It's one of those things where yeah, in that case, Tresemme probably would be safer for you. It's you know what I mean? Where it's all about the science and the education, and there is a lot of greenwashing in the beauty industry, not just the MLM industry, of you need to do this and this is good and this is bad, and it's not all necessarily true. Because when you're telling me that you live a chemical-free life, do you drink water? Because I don't know if you know this, but H2O is a chemical compound. So I'm like, educate yourself. Do your research, like
Do
that
your
stupid
research.
SpongeBob meme.
Dihydrogen
Like,
monoxide.
but literally, and so like yeah, some of it actually is a pretty simple Google search, but don't search for the answer you're looking for. Leave it open ended. That's how you're going to find the correct answer in life.
Yeah, it's yeah, not just with Manet or a multi-level marketing company, but in life, like taking these skills afterward, like critical thinking skills, and like allowing it to be open.
Exactly.
Yeah, I would do these stupid experiments, like these demos for some of my live videos. And when you said about the porosity, the two things came to mind. But the one example, I don't know. And because you're a hairstylist, now you can tell me if this is totally bullshit.
I'm ready for this because I made a video where I redid like one of those experiments and I privated it, and I think I'm going to repost it because it is so funny. I did the toast experiment basically to kind of make fun of it with the toast
What
and
is
the
the
heat
toast? I
protectant.
don't know the toast experiment. What is the
Tell
toast
me yours and
experiment?
we'll go back to mine, all right?
Okay.
We're going to leave a little suspense here, okay? Tell me yours.
Okay, so mine is, it's not really an experiment. It's like a demo. I'm like using a prop, and I'm using a Teflon pan. So this is about like how Manet shampoo is so great for your hair because it really removes all this debris, this like coating. So if you have like a Teflon pan with a sticker in the middle of it, and you remove that sticker, like it's a price tag, but you don't get all the dirt off of it. And so then you just keep cooking with the pan, but there's always that little bit of dirt over time that just like builds up on top of the sticky adhesive stuff that you've never removed. And then finally one day, you get the Monat shampoo because the pan is like your hair. And then all this buildup is like this sticky residue. And so you know where I'm going with this, right? So then you get like a proper like cloth and you clean it, but you don't scrub it entirely off. You just scrub the surface level of the stickiness off. So then it's sticky. So the same thing happens with your hair. You're washing your hair with Manet and it gets really sticky and gross, just like the price tag sticker. It's going to take time to get all that stickiness off. You have to keep using Manet.
That's I never even heard of that one. That is, I'm sorry. That is the dumbest thing I have ever heard.
Oh my
in
God,
my life.
I've made so many videos. That one came up in my feed. I'm like, I gotta ask you about this.
Because your hair is not made of Teflon coating or whatever the fuck your frying pan is made of. Just like your hair is not made of bread, but I did make a good point still because I did the bread one with the heat protectant on the bread and you put it in the toaster.
What is this bread one?
Okay. Oh my God, literally. Like, you know what else gets like that sticky stuff off? Like Goo Gone, like oil. Just you can get the shit off with like something different. It doesn't have to be. And honestly, the fact that you just said it takes the sticky shit off your pan. If that was the leading video that I saw from Manet, I would be like, I'm not fucking using that on my hair. That's gonna strip my color. That's scary to me. Like that for me would make me absolutely never go in the same room as that shampoo. So
that's why
I wish that was the first one that showed up on my timeline because I would have been like, oh fuck no. But it's not. The first experiment that I saw was you put the heat protectant on a piece of toast and you put the toast in the toaster, and then when you take it out, the place where the heat protectant is, it's not toasted. So okay, first of all, which I didn't highlight this in my video, which I should have, your hair is not made of bread. So you can't, that's not the same comparison for one. Two, so what I did with the experiment though is I was like, I have to make fun of people who do this because I did a regular heat protectant to prove that this isn't some Monat sorcery. any heat protectant will do this. So I did the Manet one. I did another heat protectant that I use now, which is the new blowout cream that I'm using. Um, and then I did it with just butter, where you put butter on the toast before you put it in there. And I did it with water. And you want to know what happened? They all had the same fucking result because the bread won't toast if there's a barrier, which is so upon further research, yes, there are certain ingredients in different heat protectants that are like more that are stronger. But in general, you can have a heat protectant by just using a oil with a higher like smoke point, because it's just going to create a barrier on your hair and it's going to distribute that heat when you're using your straightener or your blow dryer. So in theory, any like leave-in conditioner or leave-in oil is technically a heat protectant if it has some sort of silicone or something in it to help distribute the heat, because that's how that works. So technically just about every, but there are, if you go like and get like an actual heat protectant that says, you know, on the bottle it'll say up to 450 degrees of heat protectant, that stuff does have additional ingredients, and I can't think of the name of, there's like two ingredients that are in those two specific ones that are literally just heat protectant. It's not it's not like an oil or a whatever. It's a different chemical compound that is meant to protect your hair under higher heat situations, not just blow drying. Also, just to point out, in case anybody's watching that uses hair straighteners and wants to take care of their hair, curling irons, just because your bottle says that it protects up to 450 degrees, please don't use your straightener on 450 degrees. Drop that shit down to 300 because you don't need to fry your hair off. All right, I got my hair education in. But that's what I did in my video. Like, same results, though. Same results with mayonnaise, butter, water, and 2 different heat protectants. The bread did not toast.
Yeah, I love
That's
that
how and you wouldn't, and if your hair's wet, you don't want to put a straightener on it because that's how you fry your hair.
right.
You're just boiling your hair off. So it was like I had to make the point that it's
Yeah.
stupid.
Yeah, that drives it home too, to see it, because it's these gimmicks used to
Yeah.
in place of science. And I know, like, in conjunction with rank makers, it was we were told this story from Larry Thompson, and I think Larry Thompson was in Herbalife, if I'm not mistaken. But like, Ray would always tell this story that somebody would say, well, what are the ingredients in this energy drink, as if it was like the stupidest thing that a person could ask. Although this is a valid question, like if you're wanting to buy a hair care product or anything, you're like, what are the ingredients in this? But when you're in MLM, it's like you're so shamed for even thinking that this would be a valid question. It's like he'd make that voice, it's teletrecanol or something like that. And this Larry Thompson, this is the training that he did, was that he was such an amazing salesman that he would just say, I don't know the ingredients in it. All I know is that it gave me energy. It was that all I know is that. And they're like, whoa, that's all I need to, is that all I need to do to be duplicatable? I don't need to know the ingredients and look like a fool or a nerd.
I don't need to know anything about my product.
Exactly. So I can do fake science experiments. Yeah, or gimmicks, you know, like, oh my God. We've got some more comments.
Another one.
Yeah,
one. Okay. Put a pin in that comment. Another one that I want to talk about, since we're talking about ingredients, when like I know like the shakes, I know Isogenics was one. A girlfriend of mine did Isogenics, and I drank the shakes for like a hot second, and they actually did taste good. I will admit they taste way better than the Beachbody shakes, for one, at least in my opinion. But I mean, everybody can like a shake or hate a shake. But I remember when she would like do her pitch to other people, and like what she was giving me the pitch with, which, and also the Manet girls do this too. Like literally every single MLM, any wellness, health and wellness or whatever, beauty MLM will say this, that they use the clean ingredients, and that theirs passes in Europe. And Europe has a longer list of banned ingredients. But from what I understand and what has been alleged to me, that one of the ingredients on that European list is jet fuel. And God damn it, I don't need a lie. I don't need a law to tell me not to put jet fuel in my fucking shampoo, okay? The fact that we need that, they need that there. would be more embarrassing if we weren't going through the shit we're going through here right now in America. But that's, you know what I mean? That's embarrassing.
That's so
That
well. I
it's
hope.
against the law to put jet fuel in makeup in Europe. Again, that was what was alleged to me. And if
Right.
that's true, that's embarrassing.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. And that is not a good argument for anybody. Not a good argument for the grain movement, okay?
Oh man. Did you ever try any of Manet skincare?
I did.
Did you like any of it? Any fond memories of the berry scrub? Oh,
I the berry scrub smelled good.
yeah, it smelled really good. I
Um,
just like the smell. It smelled like a candle.
and there was another serum that I liked the way that smelled. It was kinda like cinnamony. I don't it was like, I think one of the night serums or something.
Okay.
But, I mean, I I used it, it was fine, my skin didn't get better or worse.
Mhm,
I did like the eye stuff that got rid of the puffiness right away, which
mhm.
back in the day, my mom had something like that, that would work on the under eye bags, and I don't know what the hell was in hers, I don't remember what it is, and neither does she. So when Monet came out with that, I was like, "Oh, awesome." I me over here, Post Malone, always tired, looking like it. So I love that under eye stuff. Like I thought that was great, but the other stuff was just pretty basic for me. I mean, I use Neutrogena and Elf now, so
Yeah,
I just have decent skin, so I don't have to have a complicated skincare routine. I am
yeah,
lucky enough to say that.
yeah. I did you ever try the greens? I want to like talk about the products because I think it's just something I've never seen any other ex-Huns talk about the Manet products. And I
I
think it's
did
fun
try the
because it's fun to
greens.
reminisce. Like it's fun to reminisce, you know.
I did try the greens, and the greens were okay.
I
They
thought they
were
tasted like
fine.
dirt, like they were like ass dirt.
They
I would like drink them down because it's like, oh,
Yeah,
it must be good for me, but
I yeah, I didn't really drink a lot of those. I think what got me drinking them more is, like, somebody that I had watched that was, like, one of our, like, sideline sisters
Mhm.
talk like, she would mix it with, like, soda water and not soda water, but, like,
Oh yeah.
a flavored sparkling water, and so that made it taste a lot better than just mixing it with regular water. So I think I
Mhm.
started doing that, and that was how I got the greens down, but I never continued to drink them. I had a bunch that I ended up tossing because I had way
Yeah.
too much, and I had it for, like, over a year. I mean, granted, I did quit Monat pretty close after this, so I felt weird, like, consuming the products. Um, and I did really like the collagen, though. I The collagen tasted like pink lemonade, like
Yeah, it
Crystal Light.
tasted really
That
good.
shit was so good.
Yeah, I really liked it. I was like, "Oh, this is awesome." And I like the they at the time they had it was like it was like those little it was like Arbonne fizz sticks. It was like the little sachets, but it tasted like iced tea. I forget. It was like an energy drink or something. There was
I
the
think
energy.
that one came out after I was already gone.
Okay. It was
Yeah,
that
so
was
I never
nice.
got to try
Yeah.
that one, but I did see, like, people that, hadn't blocked me were
Mhm.
promoting it, so I do know that that was that became a thing, but I never got to try that one.
Yeah, that collagen stuff was good though, that pink stuff. It tasted really good. And then
Yeah, that was so good.
I look now and I see that they have like makeup and I'm curious. I'm like, I bet it's really good. If I was in still, oh fuck, I'd be all over that. Oh my god, I'd
Oh
love
my
it so
god,
much.
me
I
too.
see, you know.
I know, I would've gone down that rabbit hole for sure.
Yeah,
Buy this
exactly.
expensive makeup. I
Yeah,
would be doing different YouTube videos of me doing my makeup. Me turn
exactly.
into the next Bailey Sarian, but doing Monat makeup. That's what I would have done. So I'm
Oh,
glad I'm not doing that.
oh, me too. Got some here comments here. Erica says, starting from the beginning, but congrats for leaving Monate. It's weird being so proud of someone you've never met, but that's how I feel when someone leaves their MLM.
Aw.
That's so awesome. And Dora says, I emerged into true crime and nowhere near as active on social media. I live on YouTube and stay home too. Yeah.
We could be
Um,
friends.
yeah. Joseph says, what was the turning point when you decided to get out of MLM? I have lost friendships because I wouldn't sign up and have known people who left MLM but still believe it's a viable model. I don't know if you want to. We did kind of
We
address
I Yeah.
the turning point. You might want to. I hate when people say this, but it's like you might want to go back because sometimes it can sound really snotty. It's like we might want to go
Well,
back and watch it. Yeah.
depending on when they left this comment though, when we finally got to the comments, it's very possible that he already has the answer.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah. So, but
Because I would say
it took,
something just similar to when, like, what to do to get them out,
yeah,
and how to help them stop believing that it's a viable model,
yeah,
um, so that way you don't lose them as a friend.
yeah,
But it's hard to say because the turning point is it's so different for everybody. Like, there
yeah.
is no it's whenever they start to accept the cognitive dissonance and start to realize, like, that the thoughts in the back of their mind are actually the ones they should be listening to, not the ones that are being fed to their face.
Yeah, and for me, it was like, it was a number. It took me a year and a half of being aware of the contradictions and then allowing myself to see them, and it had to
Yeah.
stack up. And it felt to me, as I started to eventually, like, I would get treated so poorly and I was fucked over and then I was lied to. And then I'm starting to see, oh my God, this is a pyramid scheme. Oh my God, this is a cult. Oh my God, I
Yeah.
recruited people into this cult. Oh my God, I didn't see the abuse. It
And
and
then
it
there's
felt
that
like,
embarrassment, and then you're still also not ready to get out. I went through, like, an embarrassment period where I wasn't ready to tell people I was done yet because I was embarrassed of what all my friends that I tried to recruit into it that said, "No, girl, no, thank you," and kind of gave that, like, brush it off. Like, I was, like, worried of the judgment that I would get, like, "Fuck, I was wrong."
yeah,
And so I had that piece too. I don't know if you had any of that in your D.
I did, but I knew, that came right at the end. And I knew,
Okay.
because I was watching a lot of anti-MLM content,
Uh-huh.
and I knew that was a piece of control. And I knew that
Yeah.
from, like, coming out, I was like, without a doubt, I had to start speaking out. But this is something else I wanted to tie in with this comment. I want to leave it up here because I don't want to forget
Yeah.
other things. But when you, oh fuck, now I'm going to forget what I was going to say here.
I'm sorry, I'm rubbing off on you. Keep forgetting words constantly.
It's
There goes my thought.
It was about when you're, like, waking up. Oh yeah, I was originally going to let my market partner status lapse, but as I learned more and more about multi-level marketing, I was like, I cannot ethically stay in here. For me, I'm like, I need to get the fuck out now. I don't want to get any other money. And so it went
Yeah.
from basically, like, maybe September-ish 2021 to December 2021. It was like I was on a roller coaster, like, going
Okay.
fast. Like, the awareness was, like, building up. I was just like, holy shit, holy shit. Like, doors were opening in my mind. It kept happening.
Yeah.
So in that
So
period
that
of
was
time,
the end of 2020 through the end of 2021? So we started waking up at the same time. It took you longer because it
it
was
took me
December of
longer.
20 because it was the Monations that started that tipping point for me, and then through
Yeah.
December, and I had finally sent Manet my official resignation letter on, I think it was in April of 2021, but I had stopped, like, actively posting, and or my posts would get more vague so that way I could be like, "Yeah, I'm talking about my salon suite." I wanted it to be like I wanted my Monat team to feel like I was still a part of it, but I didn't wanna be a part of it anymore. So it was like me slowly backing out before I gave them the official resignation letter. And between I had stopped posting and actively selling, like, between, like, probably by the end of February, other than occasional, like, stories or whatever. If I was, like, tagged in something, I'd repost it, whatever. But, and at that point, shit, see, I just lost my words too. Um, that was when I was still collecting checks from people that were just, like, reordering, and that was why my uplines didn't realize that I had stopped selling completely, because I was actually still making money. So I was still an active market partner, even though I wasn't doing anything. So it allowed me to kinda step back slowly because nobody really knew that I was, until they found out I was liking hate posts. But and now they know I've been watching CC Suarez since the time I was in.
You're like, hi guys. And this, when it's this comment, I have lost friendships because I wouldn't sign up, and have known people who left MLM but still believe it's a viable model. And this is why anti-MLM is so important, because these things are
Mhm.
commercial cults. And the FTC and Canada's Competition Bureau and other politicians do no favors for helping people leave these things by perpetuating the belief that it is a viable business model on the
Yeah.
FTC's website. They
Exactly.
say the same things that multi-level marketing companies do, that most multi-level marketing companies are legitimate. This is how you identify a pyramid scheme. And then they describe every single multi-level marketing company. It's almost like it was written by multi-level marketing companies themselves. So you have these people, yeah, who are so like in a cult, a commercial cult, a cultic fraud. And then they get out mainstream. Mainstream is like, and the FTC is like, no, it's not a pyramid scheme. No. There's nowhere for them to go. And there's so many people that are like thinking, well, it's not that really a big a deal. They don't know a lot about it. They're like, well, it was only Mary Kay, or it's just like Avon, or it's just like Tupperware.
Yeah.
And these things are so much more than that. So they're like, people that are within these things are fucked over when they're in them, and they get fucked over when they get out, because there's more growing awareness and like education to be like, this isn't a viable model. And it is very creepy and alarming when you realize how long this has been allowed to be like the belief that it is a viable model. Like, it is like fucking Black Mirror. It's like a Black Mirror episode. It's like fucking Loki is another alternate reality. And you're like, are you kidding me? Like, these people are like, I'm like, it sounds like you're a fucking crackpot conspiracy theorist just talking about it. And it's just like, but it's true. It's just weird.
Okay. Turns out MLMs are part of QAnon. I don't know.
It turns out. Exactly, right? Oh, God.
I'm just saying, 2 peas in a pod.
That's right. Santiago says, I always say arsenic is all natural and you can unalive from drinking too much water. It's true.
Yeah.
Shelby says, I saw a bunch of videos where the Huns were lighting other dry shampoos on fire and then trying to light Monet's dry shampoo, but Manet does not catch on fire. Wow.
Oh, I did that too, and I fucked up, and I actually made Monet's catch on fire. So you just have to do the experiment wrong in order to prove yourself wrong. I did that live on Facebook. I did the experiment wrong, and I lit a Manet torch in my garage. You're welcome. I should re-find that one and
awesome.
see if it deleted off of Facebook, and I should post it.
That would be so good. Oh, man. Hello, Potato. And Karen T says, thank you for spreading awareness. Greetings from California. And Dangerous Lamb says, so cool seeing you two live together. I'll have to start from the start to hear Chelsea's origin story. Yeah. Oh, and here we go. Patina. Patina. Sorry, Potato. I'm like, it's Cena. Potato. Potato. I'm sorry. Just looked. Okay, that's jet fuel additive, because I do not know how to say that word. Is used in cosmetics, so it is probably still used in the USA without the restrictions.
That's okay. Okay, that's fair.
Very interesting.
That's interesting. See, that's why I said it was alleged to me. I wasn't sure. Yeah. That was just what I was told.
Yeah. Other when you went to Monations, did you ever, it was a virtual Monations that you attended, but then you went with your team, so it's like this really special feeling, because like you're all pitching in and you're staying together, and it's like that it emulates that feeling of, you know, being at this other larger, you're part of this larger team, like this larger group, this larger purpose of Manet. Do you still have those feelings inside you where it's like you remember that happiness and that joy and the excitement living alongside like your awareness now, and like the grossness of it, how manipulative it was? Or have those memories disappeared?
Yeah, I mean, we had fun moments in there. I know there were moments of like, I'm going to be who I am, and I'm going to, you know, drop F-bombs, and I don't care. And I'm going to be whoever I want to be on social media, again, because I was towards like, I was starting to wake up. So I think I was definitely very into, if I can't sell it being myself, then I don't want to sell it. I remember kind of like stepping into that, but, and it was fun. I mean, I would totally go to that Airbnb again, but as far as like, I don't know. I mean, the group activities were fun. I mean, we did get along. Yeah, it was kind of like an eclectic group of women. We were all different backgrounds and origins, and and we all just had different personalities, and it was really fun. And it saddens me to know that the majority of them are still in it.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I remember I have it. The reason I phrase it that way is because that's exactly how I feel. So I'm always curious. I'm like, how do other people feel about this? I have both sets of feelings coexisting in me at all times. I remember what it is, how good I felt. And I also realized like it was just fake. I thought I was being real.
Yeah.
I would try to be real at sometimes I was, and then I'd be reeling myself back in order to conform or, and because I thought I had so many things wrong with me that I needed to work on. And it's so weird because when I look back, it's not like looking back at say a relationship where you're like, oh, I'm going to remember the good times. Like I can't remember the good times because I wasn't even myself. I remember feeling like it
Yeah.
was great. And I remember feeling like I had so much energy, like this cult energy dedication where you're just being drained of your life force, but you just
Mm-hmm.
keep going. And it's just,
Yeah.
you'll get up early and you'll do these live videos and you'll prospect people and you'll do all this work. And I remember that, but I like with the awareness of what I was actually doing, it's just I don't know how the words to explain it because I don't have like a fondness. It's just so weird. I don't
I
know.
remember because I feel like when you're in it too, when you're doing those things, like you're waking up, and especially like for me, like during the 2020 when I wasn't working in the salon, it was like I kind of like it was like I woke up and I actually got something done today. It was that feeling of I'm not completely useless, even though I can't work right now. Like I think that was kind of that fueled me for the beginning of 2020 until I got back in the salon. Because it was when I got back into the salon that I started like, okay, this is too much. And I kind of started taking that step back.
You've now are a content creator. You're on YouTube. You make other content on other platforms like we were talking about beforehand. You keep it separate. And so now you make anti-scam content. You like spooky stuff, it says on your channel. So now
Yeah.
when I know this, when you start speaking out, you are starting to help. You are helping people, whether you are told it or not, or whether you find out or not. Like there's been people that your content has been helpful to them in exiting. Have you had, people reach out to you from different companies where they're starting to work on their exit strategy? You want to share anything about that?
I haven't gotten any of that yet.
Mm-hmm.
I hope one day I do.
It'll happen.
But
Your content
yeah.
is helping people. Like, I know sometimes it's just, you just don't know. And it's when
Yeah.
those, so if you are watching this and you're like, maybe, there's this real uncertainty of even reaching out to someone when you've been in multi-level marketing. But if the content creator has helped you, you're the one that is getting yourself out. It's not because of somebody else. It's like, you're the one that this is a celebration of you. But, if you've watched, Platinum Chelsea's video, send her a message, find her on Instagram or leave a nice comment and just send her a message and let her know. And you're not bothering people. When you're in multi-level marketing, we feel, I'm so sorry. I know that you're so busy because we're so used to demeaning ourselves. And I just can't even
Yeah.
believe this. But, if you do send your favorite anti-MLM content creator a message and just let them know, because a lot of this work, it can be really heavy and you deal with a lot of shit. And I'll tell you, your content is helping people. So you'll hear
Thank
something
you.
at some point. You will. It's just you get comments, and there's so many people that are too afraid to comment. And then
Oh
each
yeah.
comment, I think it's representative. This is my totally unofficial thing. It's representative of at least 6 people that just don't want to comment for whatever reason. I'm one of
Sure.
those
Yeah.
people. I don't know what to say, and I'm like, fuck, I'll just like the video. But
Yeah.
you are helping people with your content.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. So what is your next video going to be? You're going to give us like some tantalizing teasers about what you might
What
be
is
in the
my
works,
next video gonna be?
or anything, projects, like different things you want to talk about next?
I know I told you before we got on that one of the things I am looking into now is a new MLM, something about scrap metals or not scrap metals. I don't know. It's a dumb, they're in pre-launch. I don't know, some material, some gold, I don't know. Literally, I can't my brain's not working. But there's a new MLM in pre-launch that I want to talk about. And I want to do another video on the on passive, which is one of the ones that I had covered before, and I reacted to a video and I could not figure out what the hell they were selling. Well, I figured it out now, and it's definitely still a scam in my opinion and many others. And that was the one though that I did get a privacy complaint on that got didn't nothing happened with it. It's because they're really trying, they go hard. I have gotten a lot of like threats and stuff in those comments, and those are the comments that I delete.
Yeah.
It was, we're going to report you to legal and blah blah blah, and we're going to do this, and wait till the CEO hears about you. And I'm like, what are you trying to insinuate? It's like really weird, like really really weird comments that I get. So I probably won't, I will do a little bit definitely on that. And there's another content creator that has done a lot of videos on that group, and we're probably going to do a little collab because she has a lot of information that she could share, so we could all kind of
Is that
learn a
the
little bit more
recovering?
together.
Is that the recovering Hunbot?
Yep. Me and
Yeah.
her are going to do a collab about the on passive
Awesome.
thing, so we're working on that kind of behind the scenes now. Because I know she's gotten just she's got a lot of info, and she's gone through just a lot of dumb stuff because that company is like, they go hard. So me, I'm not ready to go that hard, and at least not until after my wedding. But I do still feel like it's important that more people cover that company because it's literally insane and extremely culty. And I do want to do more information on the olive tree people, because that is something that I'm just seeing grow bigger and bigger, as it is something that's only been in the US for like a year. I know a few other content creators did cover it when it first came out, but now it's starting to surround my my social media feeds. So I want people to see, and I want to copy and paste and point out the false advertising and such that goes on to the recruitment tactics and all that.
Oh, that's good.
So
I'm
that's what I'm
excited.
doing.
That's good. You have that in the works. That's exciting. I have I don't know if I'm going to make content on this. It's so disturbing. I had seen Hannah Alonso had made a video about this company that like they say that they're basically selling women's trauma from like developing countries. So it's like, okay, let's see. Is there a woman in India that is like a battered woman? Oh, good. I'm going to buy a bracelet from her. And I'm like, this is so fucking repulsive anyway. But what they're saying is that they're sourcing.
What?
Oh, yeah. But it gets
Oh my
worse because I did a bit
god.
more research on this, and it gets even worse. And this is when I'm like, I don't even know if I have the stomach for this. But this is one idea that is percolating in my mind. And I made
Yeah.
some content on Instagram, but I don't know if I have the stomach for this. So anyway, I mean, just wait till you hear. I'll save the cherry on the top for the end. So they're saying that they're helping empower women in developing countries by, it's like they're purchasing artisanal jewelry. And you can, feel good about yourself by, becoming a representative. They even call themselves not Manet market partners or distributors, but advocates. That's what you buy for the business opportunity. And you feel good about yourself because you're going to be, selecting, was it sexual abuse, child trafficking? What is it? What country? You can, it's just it's so dystopian.
This
it's
is
like
this is worse than Living R3. I thought Living R3 was bad.
Yeah, and this is
Yeah.
yes. I've just
You know what
started
that one is. Yeah.
about,
Yeah.
Living
That I
R3.
thought that was bad.
Yeah, this gets even worse. This is the part that I was like watching in Hannah's video, and I'm like, this is fucked up, right? And first off, with the sketchiness that multi-level marketing companies do, I doubt that they even source this stuff from these women. I think that they would just be maybe a knockoff here and there, or they buy it and then they get it done at Temu. That wouldn't surprise me at all, but that isn't what really alarmed me. So like this.
But also, who's to say that you're not buying this stuff on Shein or Temu and all that stuff?
Exactly.
Because those places just in and of themselves, like those places talk about like how like it's a child like child labor laws and stuff. So you're going to say that you're helping a child get out of this, or you're helping a child make money to help their family. Like you're going to phrase it that way, but you're just sourcing it from Shein or Temu. Like,
And they're
and then
using,
technically you're not lying,
yeah.
but that's a different problem.
Yeah.
And that's just like, oh, that's so gross.
And they use these
That's just me,
women's
like,
images.
that's my conspiracy theory about it.
So they use these women's images. So they have like a woman that's like a woman of color that's like clearly disabled, and they just have her image plastered. So you can feel really good about yourself. Oh, I'm helping this. It's so gross. But this is the gross part. So I don't know if you listen to A Little Bit Culty podcast. So there's a
Yes,
woman
I
on
sure
there.
do.
Okay, so amazing
I
podcast. They
do.
had a woman on
Yes.
this
Love
podcast
that
who is
podcast.
a
Okay.
human trafficking survivor. And little did I know that a human trafficking survivor that had the fucking gall to be a guest on A Little Bit Culty and be interviewed by people who are in a fucking sex trafficking cult is affiliated with this fucking company, and even has in part of their compensation plan, it's linked. It says for each party you have, for if you make like 1,000 PV, you're actually sending 5 people to my human trafficking fucking resource academy thing. I just am so fucking grossed out. This is in their compensation plan. Yeah.
So this person goes on the Little Bit Culty podcast when they are affiliated with this company.
Yeah,
and
still.
A Little Bit Culty, the hosts of A Little Bit Culty, isn't that the one that's hosted by the people from Nexium?
Yeah. Yeah,
who
and
were
they
in
don't
a
know.
sex trafficking cult?
Yeah. And they clearly don't know. So here, and this woman is supposed to be a survivor of human trafficking, and she is working with this company that says they're about freeing human trafficking with this fucking multi-level marketing company. And she's using her charitable institution where it's like, this is the number one whatever thing in the United States where we help women, you know, escape from human trafficking and give them these courses to get them on their feet. But she's working
What in
with
the Keith
a fucking
Raniere?
multi-level marketing company. And it's like linked to these parties. So if you sign up to be an advocate, you can buy your fucking jewelry, your bracelet, your necklace. And because of your purchase, it's also sending 5 women to this, like 5 days in this academy. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? So that was one thing I'm like, I don't even know if I can.
Oh
I'm like,
my
I might just
God.
leave it here. Maybe someone else can cover it. Because I'm like, I don't even know where to go with that. I actually wrote like on their you had a contact form. I'm like, how in the hell can you be a human trafficking survivor? Like, this is what you advocate for, and you're working with this multi-level marketing company. I wrote this thing. I never heard back from them.
Did you
So
ever reach out to the hosts of A Little Bit Culty? I don't know why I can't think of their names right now. I'm like
no,
having
because it's just like there's like so much of this shit that goes on, right? Every time I find something out, I'm like, oh my God, I just don't even want to know if I want to open that can of worms. You know,
I just wonder if they even knew.
Oh, they don't. I'm sure they didn't know.
And
I'm sure they didn't know.
And I hope they know now, I guess is my thing. Yeah. Again, obviously I hope they know now.
Yeah.
But that's something like super important to address. And that's just like
you know, it's like, can you imagine having the fucking balls to like go like you're a human trafficking, you're this human trafficking advocate. You're like going in, you link up your charitable institution to this fucking company and do live videos with this company. It's called Trades of Hope. That's the multi-level marketing
Trades
company.
of Hope.
And she has done
Did a branch off of One Hope Wine.
And they do live videos. It's on Instagram even. And they're like, buy our special Trades of Hope necklace, and this is going to fund somebody to go into my freaking human. Oh my God. So that's when I'm like, it's like every time
that's so yucky.
So that, I don't know if I'm going to do that one. Maybe I just got it out here because there's that, I'm still like looking about Finmore and Transact card because I've been able to, a lot of people have been sending me information. And if you're watching this,
that's awesome.
And you're in Finmore Transact card, thank you so much, because I know it's a big deal to reach out to an anti-MLM creator, especially when you're still in it and you're starting to wake up, or, you know, maybe you're even in a little bit of denial, or a lot of denial, thinking that other companies do it better. I know what it's like. We've been there, but I just want to say thank you so much for reaching out to me, because that's a really big deal. For so long, there's been, when you're in one of these commercial cults, you don't talk to anybody who's left because it's a cult. You're excommunicated. They're a hater. So for this movement now to be creating enough like people to critically think, to get the courage to bridge that gap, oh my God, it's so huge. It's huge.
Yeah, it is. It's really huge, and it's a lot, and
yeah,
we're all in it together though.
Yeah. All right, read some comments and then maybe we'll wrap this up here. Crypto Ponzi Avenger says, got one guy who is trying to sue me in the New Zealand High Court for $3.8 million for defamation. He chickened out an hour and a half before the High Court judge opened the case. just such a waste of resources too, you know? Like,
Seriously.
man, RB says congrats on your upcoming wedding.
Oh, thank you.
Ponzi scheme says don't get married in the scam. It's a pyramid scheme.
I'm only doing it to benefit myself so I have health insurance, okay? It's fine if the scam is working for me. I'm kidding. I love my fiance.
Ryan says, "Oh dang, I missed the beginning of the video." Okay, well, I think I'm ready to wrap this up, but I'd like to give you the final words. Before I give you the final words, I want to like just say thank you to everyone, and then and thank you as well, and then let you kind of end it off with maybe advice or encouraging words to give to people maybe who are on your team or anything at all. So first off, thank you everyone who's watched this live stream, any portion of it. Thank you for your comments. I think we were pretty good at covering most of them. If I missed some of them, I apologize, and I really appreciate it. As you come across this video after it's posted, this is a safe space for you to leave your comments. I do delete any cult apologists, and so yeah, that's what I do here. And I want to thank you so much, Platinum Chelsea, for coming on and sharing so much about your experiences. This was so fucking amazing. And if you ever want to collaborate again in the future, I'd be more than willing. And now it's sign off is yours.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Julie. Like, this is seriously so awesome. Again, I can't believe we haven't come across each other's paths earlier intentionally. I mean, I guess we technically have, but yeah, this was great. I mean, final words, I just know that like if like I feel like if you're embarrassed, because I that was my biggest thing to me, it was like being embarrassed and then getting out and then getting to that point where you can admit it, just know there is a safe space for you when you come out. If you are afraid to leave because you will get blocked and you won't have any friends, you have tons of friends here. You will not be alone, and it's all going to be okay, and it will get easier, but it will not be easy at first. It absolutely won't, and that's okay. But we all get scammed. We're all human, and we all make mistakes, as I did when I talked about the jet fuel thing, because it turns out jet fuel really is in cosmetics in the United States. So I'm going to go do my research on that, like anybody should be doing their actual research. And I'm going to pour myself a glass of another wine. Thank you guys for joining us. It was great getting to know you all and telling my story. I always love telling my story. And if you've got a story to tell, I definitely encourage you to tell it as well. Again, we got a safe space here, and we'll welcome you with open arms.